where we don't know the opponents. We don't actually know who are in those matches. First of all, we've got an Ilja Dragunov Open Challenge, US Open Challenge. Don't know who that's going to be against. And then, of course, we've also got LA Knight in the Last Time Is Now tournament, taking on someone, and we don't know who that is either, right? So it's one of those where we are going to obviously go into a bit of a unknown situation. We can see what else it is that we've got lined up. We've got those couple of things. As we said, LA Knight takes on a mystery opponent. And also we've got Ilja taking on a mystery opponent. As well as that, we got B-Fab against Jade Cargill. We got Sami Zayn with a message for Solo Sikoa. And we've also got Jey Uso against The Miz. So Jey Uso against The Miz. We know about that match. And as we said, we've got LA Knight against your mystery opponent. We do have a poll in the chat right now. You lot can vote as to who you think that mystery opponent is going to be. You can actually get your votes in and let us know who you think is going to be taking on LA Knight. I personally am leaning towards Joe Hendry. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Joe Hendry is obviously a big star. He's got like a big following. He's been at WrestleMania. He's been in the Royal Rumble. He's still got that kind of crowd support. So I'll be surprised if it turns out to be anyone else, to be honest. It was kind of hard to find 3 different names to put into the chat. Apparently Jeff Hardy and who's the other one? Nick Nemeth. Apparently they're at TNA tonight. TNA are doing a show, and apparently they're going to be there. So I don't think it's going to be either of those guys, because I don't think they're available. So Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, and as we said, Jeff Hardy, I don't think either of those are available. So it kind of leaves Joe Hendry or an NXT talent, and it could be someone from NXT. But would we really make a big deal out of that? If it was like Trick Williams, I mean, I don't feel like that's somebody that we would not reveal. I mean, we revealed Javon Evans the other day. Is Trick Williams really that much bigger than Javon Evans? I don't know. I think we would reveal it. I think if it was an NXT talent, we would have said who it was. So I've got to think it's someone a bit more exciting than that. And I think Joe Hendry, because of his following, because you see signs on the main roster for Joe Hendry. He took on Randy. He was at the Royal Rumble. There's a real buzz around him. That's my front runner, honestly. That's my front runner. And I'm sure it's many of your front runners as well. So, hello, people still filing in. Let's get into the super chats and then we'll get to your thoughts. So, Curtis said, I can't believe it's been 13 months. Curtis, shout out to you, buds. Really appreciate the support, and it flies, doesn't it? Absolutely. I can't believe we're almost at Christmas of 2025. On the TV right now, there's flipping Christmas adverts, which is like mental to me considering we're middle of November. But yeah, they do tend to start, don't they? Like the 1st of November, they tend to drop like Christmas adverts, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It seems really early, but I suppose it's not that far away, is it? We'll turn around and it'll be 2026. And I think quite a few of you are looking forward to that, because I don't think 2025 has been a fantastic year for WWE. So Curtis, shout out to you. L Sausage Rollador, shout out to you as well. L Sausage Rollador, our new interim champ. So I just stole the profile picture and I just used that earlier today. And Do said 3 hours of Smackdown. Daze, we're going to need some Prime. No one needs Prime, my friends. Prime is not going to make a bad situation any better. It's only going to make it worse. So, yeah. I mean, I've chosen to be optimistic about it because, I mean, I know that SmackDown in 2025 has been underwhelming, and I know people have been struggling, and I know the idea of 3 hours is not what people are looking for. I get it, but I'm gonna just hope that it is gonna be okay. I haven't really got anything to base that on, apart from just hope. I'm just gonna hope that I think, you know, for me, and we have this conversation a lot, but I really think there is something to it, right? We sit here and talk about WWE all the time, and we love WWE. I love WWE. You love WWE, or at least I would imagine you do if you're here 2 hours before the show to talk about the show. I've got to think you love WWE. So we only want the best for it, and we only want it to be good. We know that 2025 has been a challenge, but we also know why. It's not a mystery to us as to why the shows have struggled. It's not like we're sat here scratching our heads trying to figure out what's wrong. Like, we know what is wrong. We know what is missing. We know what needs to be improved, and we know what would help make the show better, right? And the reason why I can say that is because a lot of the thoughts I have and frustrations I have are the same that you have, and the same that I read whenever we do like the review videos and the opinion videos, right? I read a lot of the same frustrations. People want the great talent to be booked better. They want more creative storylines. They want the characters to be fleshed out. You know, when we did that, fleshing out of characters, telling really good stories with the bloodline, you know, we went to the moon. I mean, it's not hard. We've seen the roadmap. We know what we need to do. It's just go and do it. Yeah? Go and do it. And they haven't been doing it. I mean, they've been trying to do something with Braun, and I don't know if there's too many cooks in the kitchen, not enough cooks in the kitchen, too many confusing voices in the kitchen. Maybe the kitchen's on fire. I'm not sure. Maybe we've lost the kitchen. I don't know. Perhaps we sold the house. I'm not sure. But whatever's happened, you know, we have not been able to replicate the bloodline success with the Vision. But again, it's really obvious as to why. We haven't done any character work. We haven't gone like backstage very often. We haven't put the characters in different situations. I have no idea how Bron feels about Bronson, how Bronson feels about Paul. We haven't added any, you know, extra character in there to kind of bring out some comedy. You know, the Bloodline had Sammy. The Vision has had no one. The Vision is just big guys, you know, acting tough. But then they lose at SummerSlam to Roman and Jey, and they lose singles matches on Raw. And these losses, I don't care what people say, they do matter. It's hard to build a aura when you've got someone losing, and we know this, you know this, I know this, we all know this. But surely WWE know this. Surely they do. If we know it, they know it. Have to live in hope that whatever's gone down this year, we draw a line under it, we fix it next year, and we get back to the good times. Yeah? That's my belief. That's where I am. So I'm going to sit and hope that 3-hour SmackDown is going to work. And I'll tell you the other thing as well. I think it was a huge mistake having the European tour after Royal Rumble and before WrestleMania. I think going and doing a big European tour, traveling around Europe, going from country to country, that does not fill me with hope of really captivating, boundary-pushing shows. I mean, I think you just get through those shows. I think if you're a talent, a producer, you are jumping on half planes, going to all these different countries. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's something you should do after Mania. A European tour, you do it late April, right? You get Mania out the way before embarking on that. You don't do it during the build. During the build strikes me as absolute nonsense, because how are you going to bring the best out of people when they've got jet lag and they're traveling around Europe and, you know, wanting to try different foods and go visit the Eiffel Tower? I mean, they're kind of in holiday mode, right? If we're being honest. Because if you're going to go to France, you're going to want to see the Eiffel Tower. If you're going to go to London, you're probably going to want to see Big Ben. And you're probably going to want to, you know, do some tourist thing. You're not bringing out the best in the talent, dragging them around Europe pre-WrestleMania. So for me, that's like, you know, a bit of a jolly that you do after WrestleMania. This year, we're doing it before the Rumble. We're getting Europe out the way in January, and, you know, we're getting it done much earlier. That says to me that we're going to be in America for the proper Mania builds, and I think that's going to bring out I don't want to say the best, but I think it will be better than what we had in 2025. So I've got a little bit of optimism there, right? Little bit, because there's going to be the odd occasion where the talent can, be close to home. I don't know if we're doing anything in Florida or LA. A lot of talent lives in California. Even more lives in Tampa. So, Orlando. So anything around Florida or LA means they can even sleep in their own beds, some of them. So, there's lots to kind of get our teeth into. But if we know what was, or some of the things that were wrong, I think WWE will say, keeping fingers crossed, 2026, we can fix some of those, get ourselves into a better place. And that's what I think we're all looking for. Go to Ireland. Go get some Gunners beer, said Davids. Sports Talk said, Daze, WWE believes we just grew up and don't understand. They say that the fans, we don't know the business, but a lot of us have watched the business since kids. So why take us for granted? Yeah. Do you know, it's true, actually, Ronnie. I find that so frustrating. There's a tweet, actually, that's doing the rounds at the moment that I really passionately disagree with. And it was tweeted out by Sean Spears. And it's been retweeted by Lexis King. And I just really, really passionately disagree with it. It's a simple tweet. It's a quote. And it says, the man in the stands should not criticize the man playing on the field. And basically what they're saying is, if you are a fan, you should not criticize the wrestler in the ring. Okay? Or if you're a fan of a sports team, you should not criticize the player on the pitch. So, obviously that can work for anything, right? If you're not a chef, you shouldn't criticize chefs. If you're not a movie maker, you shouldn't criticize any movies you go to. If you're not a musician, then you shouldn't criticize anyone making music. If you're not a wrestler, you shouldn't criticize wrestlers. If you're not a football player, you shouldn't criticize football players. If you're not a basketball player, you shouldn't criticize basketball players. I mean, first of all, that's nonsense. I mean, imagine if we got rid of all those conversations. I mean, YouTube would just be dead. Social media would be dead. Like a lot of us throughout the history of time have kind of had conversations about food and about plays. I mean, I'm sure there was conversations about when they went to watch Shakespeare hundreds of years ago. I'm sure they didn't just go to the play and then leave and not talk about it, right? So I just think that is really short-sighted. I think that it strikes me as someone that's really trying to push back against trolls and criticism and just like trying to put a few people in their place. It seems a very defensive thing. I don't think the actual notion is true. I don't think it's got any merit. I don't agree with it. Even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would still passionately disagree with it. And the same people tweeting that out, are you telling me they've never critiqued a film? Are you telling me they've never been to a restaurant and, or do they just go to a restaurant, eat the food, and then not talk about it? Do they go to a film, leave, and go, what did you think? And go, well, I'm not a filmmaker, so I can't say. I mean, it's just absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ridiculous. The idea that you can't criticize something that you've, never done, I mean, it's just ridiculous, right? Because you're right. I mean, we know what we're like. I mean, a lot of people have responded to that tweet by saying without the man in the stands, the man on the field probably doesn't get to play. And there is some real truth to that. Without people going to see that movie, there's probably a chance that movie doesn't get made, or whoever made that film probably doesn't get a chance to make another one. If you don't go and see the wrestlers probably aren't going to be able to be wrestlers, certainly not from a professional standpoint. Might be able to do some on the amateur scene, but if no one's going to see them, would they even want to do it? So, the man on the field, the man in the ring, the man making food, the man making movies, he needs the man in the stands. And you're absolutely right. That is a relationship that feels a bit fractious, to be honest. I don't know how we sort that out because, I mean, it is something which I give a lot of thought to, actually, because obviously we talk about wrestling and I'm very critical of WWE Creative. It'd be a bit like saying we can't criticize WWE creative unless we've worked in creative. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Where do you draw that line? It's ridiculous. So for me, like, I try and focus on what I'm being presented, and I talk about that, right? I'm not interested in talking about the real people, not interested in talking about them. I'm interested in talking about the characters, the storylines, what were presented on the shows. And for me, I think that's where the line is. And I think that's where I would feel comfortable defending myself against criticism, right? Oh, how can you say that about that person? Well, I'm talking about the character. I'm talking about a TV character. I'm talking about someone you would see like in a movie or in a TV drama, right? Not talking about the real person. I think whenever we talk about the real people, that's where we've got to be a little extra careful. But for me, talking about the characters, talking about the characters' movesets, talking about the characters' promo skills and, you know, the kind of match qualities that we see in. And, you know, if we're talking about those things, I'm talking about what I'm being presented and, you know, the presentation of that character. And for me, that's acceptable. But if someone's going to tweet out something like that, it makes it seem like they're being very defensive. You know, I don't think you tweet that out unless you have read some stuff about yourself. Do you know what I mean? If I'm a wrestler and I'm just getting a load of hate, a load of trolls, that's when I might say the person in the stands should not comment about the person on the pitch, right? That's when I might send that out. But I'm not sending it out so much because I mean it. I'm sending it out more because I'm being defensive. So it makes me wonder what Sean has had sent his way and what it is. Animism of other wrestlers. And let's make it clear, there are definitely things that overstep that mark. I mean, we've just spoke briefly about, like, you know, how I try to justify it and view it when we're talking about wrestling and how we're genuinely not trying to cause, like, real offense. I mean, I'd be horrified if we actually genuinely upset, like, wrestlers. I mean, that is not what I'm looking for at all. Because first and foremost, we love WWE and, you know, we want it to succeed. So that's where we come from. So we're definitely not trying to cause genuine offense. But equally, we can't sit here and say everything's fantastic. And certainly not in 2025. So I agree with you. I think there is this kind of notion that the fans should be quiet, just, you know, love everything, consume everything, and, you know, just kind of know their place. I think there is this sort of, they would love it if we did that. And they'd love it if we'd just be obedient and just say everything's great and just consume it and just be consumers and that's it, right? Buy the merch, love the show, don't question it. Of course, that's what they would love. Of course it is. Every person that makes a movie would love that. Every person that makes an album that would love that. You know, consume it, think it's brilliant, and carry on with your day, yeah? If you could do that with this channel as well, it would be awesome, yeah? If you just go like, oh my God, your streams are the best, the videos are amazing, and literally nothing's wrong, that would be fantastic, right? So if you could also do that here, thank you. So look, there's lots of that kind of stuff. I mean, there is no big issue or anything, obviously. I think there's lots of wrestlers that have great relationships with the fans. But you do just get this odd little moment, you know, Triple H shows his frustration sometimes. The odd wrestler shows their frustration sometimes. But I suppose we have to remember there are many, many people that overstep that line, that make some horrible, horrific comments. I mean, there's people that go around superstars' houses, right? We know about that. And, you know, there's people that send letters to superstars' parents' houses. And, you know, I'd like to think we're very grounded and we're talking about the show and the good and the bad. But there are people that go way beyond that. And, you know, maybe sometimes these comments are aimed more at those people, but we all just get lumped in together, you know. So there you go. A lot there, isn't there? Seeb, hello, said Daze, I don't know how much you've seen of the conversation of Randy in the IWC. I don't think I've seen anything. Randy Orton in the IWC, where people are saying we have to consider him as part-time now. He's too old to be at the top of the card. Thoughts? No, I've not seen anything on that. But then I don't really engage with big IWC accounts. I've got a list of accounts that really give me news or funny reactions, which I use for Unseen, and that's it really. I don't venture outside of that. So I've not seen anything on that. I mean, what I would say with Randy is we know he's had some big injuries in recent years. I would imagine that he is someone that wants to spend time with his family. I think he, at this stage in his career, he probably does want a work-life balance. I think running hard on the road, all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, those days, his career is pretty much behind him. Whatever we get now is the dying embers of his career. He came through at the same time as John. John, long ago, went, one match a year. Really around, 2015, 2016? Kind of went to one match a year. And, maybe a bit longer, actually. I remember him doing stuff with AJ 2017. But certainly, just before the pandemic, he went to, one match a year. And we only just got, a few little glimpses of him. And, Randy's been running pretty hard. So, at this point, yeah, I think if they were to go to Randy and they were to say to him, look, we really want you to do this, I think he would do it. But I think he probably wants to know, okay, what is it? If they were like, okay, we want you to work a big program with Cody, it's going to take up about 4 or 5 months, and it's going to be a big, big deal. We're going to really dig into it. It's going to be a bit of an ask. You're going to do a lot of shows, but it's all going to be around the title, and it's all like, it's the feud we think that Cody needs right now. I think he would do that. I think he'd do it for his friend. I think it would be something that would interest him. I think it'd be something that, he could get his teeth into. But do I think he wants to be there week in, week out, just doing bits? No, probably not. Probably not at this stage. Probably does want to know of bigger projects and want to know, what am I doing at Mania? What am I doing at SummerSlam? What are the big storylines you've got planned for me? So him being kind of around the top end of the card, I think if there was a story there and a reason for it, he'd be down for it. But him just sort of bobbing around and, yeah, but probably are past that stage with Randy Orton. But probably not a great surprise when you think about the fact he came through over 20-odd years ago, It's one of the great WWE careers, Randy Orton, isn't it? And at his age and with his injuries, yeah, I wonder when the end will be. Certainly within the next, 3 years, 3 to 5 years. Maybe even less than that, but I'd feel pretty good 3 to 5 years. I want to say he's 48? Let's have a look. I mean, if he is, maybe 3 years. Can we see him going past? Oh, he's actually 45. He's actually younger than I thought. I thought he was about 48, 47, 48. He's 45. He will be 46 by next WrestleMania, though. By the time we get to the next WrestleMania, he'll be 46. So, honestly, my 3 to 5 years fits. 3 to 5 years, and then he'll be done. Robbie said, I had a hard time believing reports that Roman won't be in War Games. If he isn't, then what? We don't see him until the Rumble, with no major shows remaining. I don't see him turning up. Well, if he does miss out on War Games, I don't know if they would have a different match planned for him. It's hard to believe he would miss Survivor Series altogether. And if he was going to miss Survivor Series, then I can only imagine it's because of maybe a movie project or something that's got in the way. So no confirmation on anything in regards to that. Now, obviously, the big news coming through about how that dream team for Survivor Series doesn't look like it's going to be happening, which is a big surprise because I personally thought that's the direction we were going. So, yeah, Roman and Cena, they're the two that haven't joined that dream team yet. I mean, I think we've got Cody, Jey, and Punk. They all seem to be together when William Regal did his War Games thing on Monday. So it feels like those three are in. But we need another 2 members. And it just felt like Cena and Roman was going to be the direction. But, yeah, apparently, no. Couldn't be further from the truth, is what Dave Meltzer was told. So if that's not what we're doing, then what have we got planned for those two? What if we do Cena versus Roman? If those two are not going to be in that match, then what if we do that? What if Cena versus Roman, which is a match we've not had this year, but would certainly be a match that would get eyes? What if one last time we do that? No word on that. I literally just thinking out loud. Ayan said, Daze, I think Uncle Howdy will be the mystery opponent of LA Knight. Okay. Because LA Knight had a story with Wyndham and Howdy. Ayan, shout out to you. It could be. It could be. We haven't seen him, though. I don't know where he is in regards to his dad. And yeah, I mean, there is a history there. If he's going to come back, he could go into that tournament. It's just hard to kind of say that's more likely than Joe Hendry, because we know Joe Hendry's around. We know he's fit. We know that he's been having matches. We know he's just kind of signed with WWE. That news breaking yesterday. So we know that a lot of stuff is looking good for Joe Hendry. On the flip side, we know that Uncle Howdy hasn't been having matches. I mean, when was Uncle Howdy's last singles match? And we know as well that his dad has been ill. So he's not been training or anything recently. He's been with his dad. And I think his dad, I don't even know where we are with his dads. So, without even knowing that, it's hard to know, is he even ready to return? If he does return, would we be putting him in a singles match, considering his inactivity? These are the reasons why I'd be like, not sure. I get the logic, but I think Joe Hendry feels like he's more of a favourite to me. But we'll find out, won't we? That's what's going to make tonight so exciting, is that there are a few possibilities, and everyone loves a good mystery. I'm definitely here for a good mystery. El Sausage Rollador said, Daze, who do we see being the future Lucha Libre? Well, I think it's you, isn't it, El Sausage Rollador? Was Ray correct in saying Dragon Lee? Love from Mexico. I don't think he was correct in saying Dragon Lee. I think that Dragon Lee is someone that is fine, but he's on the main roster and he's shown us what he can do, and it's not grabbed people. I mean, if you put Dragon Lee in a singles match, it's not setting the world on fire. I mean, it's fine, but I don't know. The thing with Rey Mysterio was that there wasn't as many people doing that kind of lucha style when Rey kind of broke through. So obviously we'd had lucha wrestling, but there wasn't as many people on TV doing it, right? Not like what we see now, with just, Penta, Rey Fenix, I feel like all those flips, it's not even about how many luchadors are around. Think of all the moves that just get done in normal matches now that weren't being done before. How many times are you seeing hurricanranas, head scissors, suicide dive? I mean, we'll see at least 4 tonight on SmackDown, right? There'll be 1 in every match. There normally is. But moonsaults and all this kind of stuff, like the big aerial moves and all the exciting stuff, like a lot of that was not in the normal matches. But as time has gone by, it's obviously leaked into the matches. And now you've got people like Javon Evans, Leon Slater, doing all this amazing stuff where, it makes it so much harder for the luchadors to shine now, because a lot of the standard matches, your average match, has just got so much agility, aerial moves, dives to the outside, hurricanranas, head scissors. I mean, there's flipping destroyers, poison ranas. I mean, there's just so much stuff, even in normal matches, that don't even feature luchadors. You do kind of look at it and go, well, what the flip can they do? What are the luchadors meant to do to make them stand out anymore? Right now that a lot of that more basic, fundamental luchador stuff has just bled into the normal matches. So I think it's so much harder now to stand out. I think that the normal matches do a lot more than they used to. I think there's more luchadors around as well. If Dragon Lee was kind of on his own maybe he would be able to shine and we could really dig into him being the future. But, I mean, we're watching Penta. We're watching Rey Fenix. We've got Santos Escobar about to return. We had Andrade around. You've got LWO. We've got AAA talent that pops up from time to time. And we're watching AAA. We're watching Mr. Iguana. And, we're watching Axiom. And we're watching Javon. We're watching Leon Slater. You just can't escape that kind of stuff. How can you be the future of Lucha Libre unless you are doing something really innovative, really eye-catching, something that's, really grabbing the conversation? I don't see Dragon Lee doing that right now. I just don't see that right now. So could he go on to be the future? Well, sure, of course he could. But I think I would need to see him starting to do a lot more innovation than what I'm seeing right now. Because at the moment, he kind of goes in there, he puts on a fine match. It's probably about 3.5 stars, 3.75, and that's it. I mean, can you remember many Dragon Lee matches from this year? It's kind of hard to recall too many, to be honest. I mean, so much of it just gets grouped together with like LWO and Legado, Angel, Berto, Del Toro, Wilds, Phoenix, Penta, El Grande, Rayo, Bravo. There's so much. It's oversaturated. So someone's got to come along with a really strong presentation. Not little baby wings that makes them look like a baby dragon, right? Someone's got to come across with some amazing presentation, something truly different, really driving the narrative forwards. The way that Rey Mysterio really grabbed attention and revolutionized the wrestling industry, that's what the next person needs to do if they want to be the real future. It's an easy comment to make. It's a lovely compliment to pay, but it's only going to be true if you can really, truly innovate. And I don't know, I'd be way more excited by Vikingo than I would Dragon Lee, to be honest. I think I've seen a lot more innovation and eye-catching stuff out of Vikingo than I have out of Dragon Lee, just to put a name out there. But who knows? Perhaps Dominic Mysterio is the future of Lucha Libre. Perhaps he's the future. I know that his Lucha Libre is a little more subdued, but there are definitely elements in there, and maybe because of his character work, he's going to be the future. Interesting. Big Time said, Daze, the idea of SmackDown after the new system has cost them about 300,000. They've gone from 1.4 to further burn out the remaining audience you're holding on to. I have to imagine we will see under 1 million more regularly. Yes. We could go under 1 million in 2026, certainly 2027, unless there's some sort of change. I think the problem you've got, though, having watched wrestling for a long time, is that it's really hard to kind of recall any incident where we see a massive jump in ratings. I mean, I feel like you get used to where the average is. So, when we were on Fox, the average was like 2.1 million. Now, there might be some weeks we managed to get to 2.3. Those weeks were probably weeks where we had The Rock and we had Roman and we, did big title matches, the massive shows to get to 2.3. But even that is a jump of, 200,000? 2.1 to 2.3? I mean, it's not like we were ever getting to 2.5, 2.6. We don't see jumps of that scale. And exactly the same with Raw on USA when it was there for so long. That would do about 1.7. And now at the moment, it's doing about 2.4, 2.5. That's the number we see from Netflix. But again, we're not seeing these great jumps. I think the problem that WWE has got is if the average for SmackDown is about 1.1.5, right? If that's the average, I think they can start putting on some really good shows, right? Really interesting shows that everyone agrees are good. They could have an interesting champion, and we could bring in some big names, and I think we could get to 1.3. That'd be about it. I don't see, and I have never seen, massive movement with ratings. I mean, let's be honest, the reason why we were doing 2 point whatever for SmackDown was because we were on Fox. We were on Fox. Now, I know we had the Bloodline, but no way would we get SmackDown where it is now to, 1.8 or something, right? Just by having the Bloodline. I cannot give you any example in the recent past 10 years where we've seen movement of that scale just from the booking. I can't think of anything that's moved the dial that much. When we talk about needle movers, we're talking 200,000 max. So we could get 1.1 to 1.3. We ain't getting to 1.5, 1.7. I don't care what you book. I don't care if you bring the Bloodline back. You ain't moving the dial that much. Because I can't think of any example over recent years of anything we've tried that has moved the dial that much. I mean, one-off pops where you bring The Rock back, that's probably your best chance. But even then, I don't remember it jumping up 500,000. Even with The Rock, I do not recall jumps of that scale. So I don't have that data in front of me. I'm having to go off memory of all the history of the shows. But WWE are at 1.1, and I think it's a real mistake to say that that is due to the booking, right? And the booking alone. I think that moving to USA was a big downgrade from Fox, and this new Nielsen system has took them down further, right? So they can, if we were still on Fox, and we had the old system, I bet we're at 1.7, 1.8 right now without changing a thing. I think this is where the 1.15 can be really deceptive because you can look at it and go, my God, they fell off a cliff. Do you remember when they were doing 2 million? They've dropped 900,000. Technically, that's true, but it ain't because of the bad booking. That's if you think it's only because of that, you're completely wrong. We went from a big platform to a smaller platform, and then they changed how you work out the ratings, and so that's how we've ended up where we've ended up. And yeah, of course, bad booking plays a part. It could definitely get a little better, but not by loads. So WWE's problem is they're at 1.15. To avoid going under 1 million, you need a bit more of a buffer than that. But even with good booking, I don't think it's going to give them a massive buffer. But if things get better, maybe next year we can see a slight increase, right? Maybe next year we could get to 1.2, 1.2 something, right? With better booking. And occasionally hit 1.3 if you bring The Rock in or something, right? That would be what I'd be expecting. But yeah, if you have a bad show or the shows are struggling and you go up against some football, some, World Series or whatever it is, Halloween, we could absolutely see that go under 1 million again. Yeah, next year. Only a couple of times. I don't think it would be consistent. And then the year after, we're really struggling, yeah. WWE are aware of this. We know the new Nielsen rating system is a disaster. We're not feeling the effects of it right now because we literally, thankfully, we've just signed, haven't we? So all the deals with Netflix and USA, they only got signed earlier this year. So, we're at the start of a 5-year deal. So we're okay. There's some breathing room there. But what they do to turn this round, I really don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of meetings they're having, what kind of strategies are at play. This is definitely going to be spoken about. And it's not just a problem for WWE, it's a major problem, an even bigger problem for AEW, because their ratings have also gone down, because all of wrestling has gone down due to this new system. And so, AEW that used to do 1 million is doing 400,000 now. And again, not their fault. If it was the old system, they would be around 600,000. So it's the new way that Nielsen works out the ratings. It's just battered wrestling. It's just battered it. So Yeah, I don't know what it looks like in, 10 years. I really don't know, because I don't know what deals are coming. To be honest with you, might not be a problem. Might not be a problem. We might be sat here making a big deal out of nothing. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people consume short form content. If WWE can still engage the audience with social media and short form content, TV deals, this might be the dying days of TV deals. TV deals might be coming to an end. WWE is powered by TV deals at the moment, and it might have to shift. It's done it before. WWE used to be powered by house show money and how many tickets it sold to its house shows. And that died out. We don't do many house shows now, but that's what used to drive the business. That's how the business made its most money, was house shows. We don't have that now. Now we do get the money from TV deals. If TV deals are going to start declining because the ratings have declined, WWE are then going to have to find a new way of generating money. And things like selling WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia could be that. Could be selling WWE to Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia aren't going to worry about TV ratings. Yeah, I mean, they've got so much money, they could just buy WWE and just not worry about it. So, who knows, in 10 years' time, if TKO aren't getting any good TV deals in and a big offer comes from Saudi, they could sell to Saudi, right? Or it could be that we bring house shows back and we try and make more money from doing shows and ticket sales. Or it could be that we try and make more money from selling B shows to different cities. So, we try and get like 5 million for WrestlePalooza. We try and get 5 million for Elimination Chamber. I mean, I heard 6 million is how much that Vegas gave for WrestleMania. Just read that about an hour ago. So apparently WrestleMania in Vegas cost Vegas 6 million for next year. So that's the going rate for Mania at the moment. If London wants WrestleMania, it's probably going to have to go 6-7 million. And that's obviously not a Saudi Mania, because I think a Saudi Mania is like, I don't even know the number. I think it's like 80 million or something for Saudi to get Mania. It is a mental number. Saudi pays 50 million for the shows they do now. Each crown jewel is 50 million, or Super Showdown, 50 million to get those shows. And I think they had to pay more to get WrestleMania like they've got. And I'm sure it's like 70, 80 million for that. And I just read that Vegas paid 6. But of course, them going to Vegas makes sense because, they haven't got to move the whole company over to Saudi Arabia. I mean, there is going to be extra costs involved in going to Saudi Arabia. Plus, if Saudi wants WWE, WWE isn't... WWE will happily go to Vegas. I don't know that if the money wasn't involved, I don't think they would go to Saudi. So obviously there's an extra charge there as well. It is mental, though, the amount of money that Saudi pay for these shows. So WWE might look to get even more out of those B shows in the future and make up their money that way. They'll still get a TV deal, but it's just, let's say rather than $1 billion, they get 500 million. Okay, that means now they got to find 500 million from somewhere to make up the shortfall. So how do you make that 500 million? Well, sell your shows and try and get more money from those. Maybe that makes you an extra 100 million. Put on some more live events. Perhaps that gets you another 50 million, blah, blah, blah. You have to kind of do it that way. So depending on how much money they lose out on, how much the decline is going to affect the next TV deals, it's hard to say, isn't it? I mean, we might even get to the point where there's platforms that kind of pay for exclusive content. It could be that we've already seen Netflix paying, but that, who's to say they don't create another show, sell it to Disney Plus, get 50 million for that? who's to say they don't purchase TNA and ship that out, you know? I mean, there's so many moving parts, so many levers that can be pulled. It's a massive conversation. It's hard to speculate where we're going to be in 5 years, really difficult. Or 10 years, even harder. Because, well, we just don't know what the TV ratings are going to do to the TV deals, and they are the most important things. They drive the most money. So if that goes down, you have to make up the shortfall, and there's a few ways that you can do it. Robbie said, I saw a promo poster for Axiom against Javan against Octagon Jr. Apparently it's going to be a #1 contenders match for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. AB Jobson thinks the future is Laredo Kids. Sweet and Sassy said, I paid for 3 shows last year, SmackDown, a holiday show, and a Saturday night's main event. The most fun of all of them was the holiday show. Oh, that's interesting. I think that's really special. If I was in America, I'd love to go to one of those shows. They do like a post-Christmas tour, don't they? And I'd imagine that is just so much fun. They're doing a European tour in January. In December, they're doing a tour holiday season. They just did a little thing over in, it wasn't very big, but they did a few shows in Japan. Obviously, a couple of shows in Australia. So a little tour there. They just dot those throughout the year. But, you know, back in the day, it was pretty much every night there was house shows. And they were going to different towns and, you know, kind of running to different crowds. I mean, we might see wrestlers' wages come down a little bit, you know. It might be that we can't pay the same sort of money that we're paying right now. I mean, they do get paid very, very well. I don't begrudge it them, but, you know, millions and millions. It's a lot of money to pay. But we can do it because of the TV deals. If the TV deals go down, future contracts might just stay flat or see slight decreases. That's going to be hard, though, because, of course, you're still battling AEW. But if AEW's TV money goes down, they might be in the same boat as well. And really, there's no other competition, is there? I mean, what other competition is there? I mean, it ain't coming from TNA. It ain't coming from New Japan. I mean, there ain't no one else out there. Wrestling is niche. It's not mainstream in the same sense as American football, you know, or basketball. So, I mean, if people are looking at those saying, well, they get paid that much, it's like, well, yeah, but they bring in a lot more money as well. I mean, there's whole teams that are worth about the same amount as WWE. WWE is probably worth about the same as a pretty good NFL team. About 6 billion sort of range. So 6-7 billion. So WWE is about the same as an NFL team from a financial point of view. So to compare it to a whole league would be mental. To compare WWE to, like, you know, all of basketball, all of baseball, I mean, that's mental. That's not where wrestling is. That's not the kind of money wrestling is generating. There's an old saying, isn't there? If you want to have about 10 million in wrestling, if that's the kind of money that you're hoping to have, it's best to have 100 million to start with. What that means is, you know, you're going to lose money. If you want to have 10 million, it's best to start with 100. This ain't a business where you can, or historically, make loads of money. But we've seen wrestlers in recent years, like past couple of decades, well, going back further, actually, probably going back to the 80s, bit in the 70s, doing well. Obviously, you know, but you go back further than that, and, you know, they weren't making crazy money in the 50s. It was a different time, and you know, TV money and all of that has massively changed the game. So now we've got flipping millionaires, wrestlers that are making millions and millions, and if the TV money goes down, perhaps that has to go down as well. Aseeb said, is it a coincidence that the new rating system has come in and the ratings for wrestling have all gone down, or is it nothing to do with the new system? No, the new system, no. I think the new system is just giving us a better insight into where the ratings are right now. So I think the truth is that either the decline has been a lot sharper than we thought, right? Or the ratings have never actually been as high as we thought. I don't know which one's true because historically we can't go back and, know the truth. So it's either that we were quite good, quite close with the ratings, but the drop-off has been, more severe than the ratings were suggesting. And now we're getting a better picture, a better idea, and the ratings are a bit lower. It's a bit lower by a couple of 100,000, right? So it's a bit lower than what we thought. And all of wrestling has gone down. It's not just WWE. AEW has gone down as well. But baseball has seen a slight increase. So I think the truth is that where we are right now feels, and I'm told, is more accurate. It's measuring more homes. And so we're getting a better insight into where we are right now. And so, that this is it. I mean, it's not a great surprise to find out that wrestling is niche. It's not a great surprise to find out that, we live on the fringes. I think pro wrestling has always been on the fringes. Only occasionally has it's found its way into the mainstream. And I think that, the Attitude Era, it did that. I think Hulkamania, it did that. I think there's definitely superstars like John Cena that's managed to do that. But actually, the weekly shows, Raw, SmackDown, every week being in the mainstream, no. It's definitely one that still lives on the fringes compared to the real mainstream of a Taylor Swift, of a Dancing with the Stars, that to me is the mainstream. The kind of the things that everyone listens to, watches, and is aware of. The Masked Singer, right? Things like that. Like Raw, SmackDown is not that. It's popular, but it's not those levels. And so it's, fringe, and it's, it can't compete with the NFL. It can't compete with baseball. Whenever those things are on, WWE gets battered in the ratings. And it's always used as an excuse. And it's always been used as an excuse. But that's fine. We know what wrestling is. We know that it's niche. We know that it's something that we love. And, we want it to get its piece of the pie. But the other thing that's true as well is that I don't think the TV ratings are everything in 2025. I think it would be a mistake to judge wrestling's popularity just by those numbers. I don't think that tells us that wrestling is dying, for example, right? Because I would point to some pretty massive social media accounts from WWE has got some of the biggest social media accounts. I mean, if you go on YouTube, you go on X, you go on all these platforms, amongst the biggest are WWE accounts. So that says to me there's a lot of people, a lot of different people around the world engaging with this content. There's a lot of people that enjoy this content. And even though it might not be pulling in the TV ratings, or even, I don't even know if it's pulling in the social media numbers, right? But they do love to brag around WrestleMania season about how it's reached as many people as the Super Bowl, or more people than the Super Bowl. So, I mean, there's certainly things for wrestling to wave its flag to. And one of those is that socially, I think it does really well. I think it lends itself really well to short form content. You can tell little stories about it. You can show finishing moments, people achieving their dreams, like Cody winning the title. You only need to show like a minute at the end of WrestleMania 40 and it's going to hit you in the feels. Or, the moment that The Rock came down and then The Undertaker pops up and like, oh my God, it lends itself really well to short form content, things like TikTok and Instagram Reels. And they get fantastic views. So I think it'd be a mistake to look at the TV numbers and think that's wrestling. I think that actually the truth is it's probably more popular than that. It's just that not everyone is watching the shows live like they used to 10, 20 years ago. We know the decline of TV, though. Daze, I've seen all the memes, and I'd say that we're in a ruthless depression. Do you agree? It feels like wrestling, like AEW, has gone down. I think 2025 has been a bit of a rough year. I think there's been a bit more doom and gloom than there has been positivity. I think once you're in a bit of a negative spiral, it's easy to get stuck into that. And actually, we see that a lot in the chat, and we see that a lot in the opinions, where it feels like people are in that sort of negative spiral and they can't find a way of, pulling the plane up, right? I don't really feel like I'm in that negative spiral. I do get frustrated with creative, but I do also sit here and I'm looking forward to tonight's show. I'm not sat here right now going, oh my God, we got another Smackdown. I can't be doing with this. I mean, I think if you're at that point, I think you probably should question if wrestling is right for you right now. If you are seriously like that, I mean, why are you putting yourself through it? If you're at the point where you're like, I'm just not looking. Why watch a show that you're just not looking forward to? Why, it's okay to have the odd one, but if it is consistent for you, then I would say maybe this isn't for you anymore. And maybe it's best you step away. And that's me talking to, even viewers of this channel. But what's the point? What is the point in watching something that's going to make you so down and make you so glum? So I genuinely am not sat here worried about tonight. I'm not sat here worried or thinking this is going to be a train wreck. This is going to be a disaster. I'm not looking at Survivor Series that way. Survivor Series, is not crazy for me. I don't look at Survivor Series and get all giddy, because we've spoke about the fact that Survivor Series, to me, does not have long-term repercussions. And that's a big problem, because this is one of your big shows. What goes down at the Rumble affects Mania. What happens at Mania is, remembered in the history books. What goes down at SummerSlam is, regarded as important and arguably the last major show of the year, actually. I mean, really, after SummerSlam, what else have we got that you would say is that level? Some people might look to Survivor Series, but here lies the problem. What goes down at Survivor Series never tends to matter. It doesn't have repercussions. It has at times, and they have been some of the most satisfying moments. But Survivor Series, you just get a load of people, put them in a cage match, someone wins, and, 24 hours later, we move on. It doesn't connect to the Rumble. It doesn't connect to WrestleMania season. It just doesn't matter. So for me, Survivor Series, I look forward to. It's the last big show of the year, although granted, not this year. We know we've got a monster show with Cena's retirement, but that is very much an exception, right? You're not getting that next year or the year after. Cena's retiring once. And just so happens it's not at Mania. It's going to be in December, which is random. But it is giving us a big, big show to end out the year, right? But I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to Survivor Series, see what they do. I do think the show could be more meaningful. But, still looking forward to seeing it. It's still regarded as the last big show of the year. And before you know it, we're into Rumble. We're into WrestleMania season. It's always the best part of the year. We're kind of, where we are right now is a weird place, because we got Survivor Series, then we got John Cena, then we get to celebrate Christmas, right? Which will be nice. Looking forward to Christmas. And then a couple of weeks, European tour, boom, Royal Rumble. It's not that far away. I mean, Rumble is, 10 weeks. 4 weeks in January, 4 weeks in December, 2 weeks left in this month. It's about 10 weeks. I mean, it's not that far. They will soon be around. Everyone loves the Rumble. And we are well into Mania season at that point. Plus, also, I just think get to 2026 and, hopefully it'll be new year, fresh beginnings, new starts. Yeah. I think a lot of this year has been focused on Cena and about making sure that we end this run right. I think a lot of creative has gone towards that. A lot of thought has gone towards that. We might not have liked all of it, but I think a lot of thought has gone into it. And so get that out the way. Let's get John gone, right? And then really there's no excuse. I mean, that's a big distraction we don't need to think about anymore. He deserves all the thought and all the kind of time that's been spent on his final year, even if it's not all worked. But I don't know if that has maybe come to the detriment of maybe some of the other things. I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. We'll find out next year if things get any better. And I think they will. I mean, are things going to just stay the same? I don't know. WWE has seen ratings go down, and it's seen ticket sales slow. So that would say to me they've got to know they have to react. So is it just going to stay the same as it has? No, I think they will try things. I think they'll try stuff. I think they'll try and improve the ratings and try and sell more tickets. Will it work? Don't know. I mean, they've took swings and they've missed quite a few times this year. I mean, they set up the vision and didn't execute it properly. They tried a Cena heel turn and it didn't go very well. I'd say Tiffany Stratton's title run ran out of steam after the Charlotte feud, you know? And there's quite a few bits, let's not even get started on the Wyatt Six, that they've tried and failed with. So, you know, they're going to try stuff next year. Is it going to work? I don't know. But I'm at least on board to find out. Let's put it that way. I'm at least on board to give them a go. Richard, shout out to you, said Daze. It's Richard. Hello, Richards. I voted for Joe Hendry to face LA Knight, or it could be Chris Jericho. I don't think it's going to be Jericho, only because I believe he's still under contract with AEW till the end of the year. So as far as I know, he's not technically available at the moment. He's not technically free. So I don't think it's going to be him. But Joe Hendry, I agree with. I've got Joe Hendry as my front runner. There is also another little aspect where he said, I'm not going to say the name just now. And a few people read into that as being, oh, that's because if he says the name, Joe's going to appear. So there was a few people wondering if there was even a little clue in the way that it had been presented last week. And there could have been. It could be exactly that. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to find out. I'm really looking forward to finding out. If it is Joe, great. I'm not a massive Joe Hendry fan. I don't hate him. It's just his gimmick has never really landed with me. And I think once you've seen it, if it doesn't grab you, it's hard to kind of get into it then, because it's just the same thing, really. You know, the turnaround, the smile, the say his name and he appears, the song, the cheesy grin, the cheesy look. I feel like you're either get it and on board with it, or you kind of go, what's this about? And maybe don't really connect with it. And I've seen both sets of fans, but what I can say is I respect the work he's put in. I respect the journey he's been on. I respect the fact that he's found something that has worked and that he's got a gimmick that has connected. It doesn't have to connect with everyone. I don't think there's ever been a gimmick that has. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's not for me or doesn't grab me. You know, I still can respect the work. And so if it is Joe, great. I don't have a problem with that. There's enough people that like Joe where that would be a great reaction. And the other thing as well is I think it means LA Knight could stand a chance of winning. I mean, this could just be a way of getting Joe onto SmackDown and just kind of letting everyone know that he is in NXT and that he's going to be going up against Chelsea and Ethan for the Mixed Tag Championships. You can watch him on a Tuesday. He can go in there, give a really good account of himself, but LA Knight could get the win. I don't know that Joe wins if he is that mystery person. And that way, LA Knight actually gets to advance, which is what I think a lot of people are looking for, because there's a lot of LA Knight fans. Joe gets to make an appearance. It's a little bit of a surprise. It's not earth-shattering like, say, a Jericho or an Edge. But I think, you know, realistically, we need to, you know, keep our expectations in check. Whenever they tease these kinds of things, we always go flipping, you know, to the moon. And I think because Jericho's contract is not up yet, because Edge bringing him back here would feel so unlikely. I mean, he's doing a film, and the reports are he's going to go back to AEW after that film. Is he going to be in a Last Time Is Now tournament? There's no word of him being in the tournament, returning to WWE, winning this thing, or being John Cena's. There's no word at all. So, I mean, if it was him, it'd be a monumental surprise. And I know that we would all like that, a monumental surprise. But what's more likely? That's the game that we play. What's more likely? And I think WWE in 2025 most likely is Joe Hendry. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Delwyn, shout out to you, my friends. Very kind, firing in a very generous donation. So, Delwyn Jones, thank you, buds. Really, really do appreciate it. And I wanted to just make sure I was subscribed to you, and I am. Delwyn said, Daze, I've brought the real OG version 1 spinner belt. It's a WWE championship. It's replica. It's metal. It's been re-leathered, and it cost me about £400. My God, though, it looks fire, and I can't wait to meet Cena on Sunday, and then he can sign my belt. I might even ask him to hold the title during the photo with me. Well, Delwyn, thank you so much for the support. It goes back into the channel, and it really, really is appreciated. Please send me that picture when you get it, because I would love to put that in Unseen. If any of you are going off to meet Cena or meet any of the superstars, I know there's a few meet and greets that are coming up. Tag me in it on X. I will absolutely put them in Unseen. I mean, that's what the community folder's for. Community folder's there for, you know, well, meet and greets. But, you know, if you get like a retweet off a wrestler, or you manage to get like some new WWE item that you're really excited about, it's there for anything you think the community would be really interested in seeing. And of course, meet and greets with wrestlers are, like, you know, pretty much as good as it gets. So I would love to get that picture. I'd love to see you meeting John with that championship that you've got. And I mean, that is special as well. That is going to be special to actually get the belt that he brought into WWE, that spinner belt, his championship, signed by him. I mean, that is just, it's about as good as it gets. Be like having the Bruno belt signed by Bruno, you know, or the Hogan 86 signed by Hogan. I was going to say the Winged Eagle, but the Winged Eagle was with so many different people. It's not just the Hogan belt, is it? I can picture Brett with that belt, for example. But the Hogan 86, that's the Hogan belt. And the spinner belt, I know others had it, but that's the Cena belt. That's the Cena belt. I can picture a few others with it, but it's definitely the Cena belt. Some of those others weren't even thrilled to have it as their belt, to be to be honest. So it's very much his belt. So yes, enjoy Sunday, buds, and definitely send me that picture over on X. It's Bryn again, said, what if the mystery opponent is Santos Escobar? That's not a bad shout, actually, because he did leave and then get rehired. So, you know, his return is going to be some significant, not huge, but it's going to be the start of a push. Or at least I would hope so, because they've signed him for more money. He's actually come back, and they've put him on a higher wage. I think because he was saying that the creative was not very good for him, and he was quite frustrated because there was so much more they could have done. And someone somewhere has gone, do you know what? He's right. He's right. And so they've brought him back on a higher wage, and I think they're trying to give him that creative he should have had. I'd love to know the inside story of that. I don't know if Chris Van Vliet will ever get a chance to sit down with him like soon. I'm sure he will eventually. But it'd be good, wouldn't it, to kind of get the insight on that? Because he was done. He was out. And then all of a sudden he was back. And apparently on more money. That's a hell of a turnaround, isn't it? That's a hell of a turnaround. I wonder, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs. Can't remember off the top of my head. I wonder if they offered him a contract and he turned it down. And then they offered him more money and said, we'll sort the creative out. And I wonder if then he signed. I don't know. And I'd like to hear the story of that. It's very unusual for someone to be out the door and then find their way back and getting more money. So it does fill me with confidence they're going to do something meaningful with him. Maybe that is tonight that starts. I think there would be a bit of disappointment, though, because even if they're trying to relaunch him as a big deal, you have sort of teased something a bit more exciting than that. you know? Don't know that if Santos comes out, people are going to be like, oh my God, it's Santos, and they're going to lose their minds, you know? I think people would very much rather it be a Dolph Ziggler, certainly a Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy would get a great reaction. But as we said, the streets are saying they're both busy tonight, so that's why Joe Hendry feels like the front runner. But Santos, yeah, can't rule it out. Logan's B said, Daze, I had an interview today with Odeon. Very good. I hope that you get that job, buds. I'd imagine that's a fun place to work, the cinema. A lot of people started getting their first jobs and got jobs at cinemas. So, obviously there's a progression there as well. I mean, there's management positions you can move into if you enjoy it. I'd imagine there's perks as well. I'd imagine that employees get... Well, I wouldn't know if they get discounted tickets or even just they can go to whatever films they want. Has anyone worked in a cinema? Does anyone know the answer to that? It might vary from company to company, mightn't it? You might either get discount or you might be able to just get a pass where you can... Because they sell those, don't they, for like, I don't know, £15 a month. And you can just go to as many films as you want that month. You've just got your pass. I wouldn't do that because I don't have the time. But if I was a movie buff and I live close to a cinema, I'd definitely do that. If I was really into my films and I live close to a cinema, I could do that. Expensive though, isn't it? Because I don't think you can take your own food and drink in. So, you know, if you wanted snacks, you're always going to have to pay their prices. Can you take your own food in? I don't think you can you? I don't really know how it works. I don't really go to the cinema that much. I've never tried to. Every time I've been, I've always bought snacks. I've never tried to take my own. I've just always presumed you can't. And do you know what I mean? They wouldn't let you so they can sell theirs. So if you did have one of those movie passes, you might always have to buy their snacks. And it's weird because if I watch a film at home, I don't need snacks. But if I go to cinema, it's part of it. And I can't not. I have got to have popcorn at least. And if I'm having popcorn, I need the big oversized Coke. But I don't sit watching films with popcorn and Coke at home. But it's part of it, isn't it? It's part of it. Mate, I'd get so fat. I would be broke and I'd be fat. Thank God I'm not into films. And thank God I don't live close to a cinema. And thank God I haven't got time. Do you know what? Scrap it. Logan's B, I think it's a nightmare, honestly. All of a sudden, I thought it was going to be really good for you, but I've changed my mind. I think this is a flipping nightmare. Because you might get to go to free films, and then you might end up, like, flipping. Do you know what I mean? You want to work for a company like that, do you? Eh? That's doing that to people. You're going to feel good about yourself, are you, if you work there? You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. Like, we've gone all round the houses on this one, buds. You should be ashamed. Camden said, Daze, I'm just wondering, if you was going to book an NXT showcase on Smackdown, Saturday night's main event, who would you book? Well, to be honest, I wish I could get really adventurous with this, but if I was going to showcase people, you would showcase the people you'd want to showcase. I don't think it would be so much about dream matches. I think it'd be like, we've got to get Javon on that show. We've got to get Oba on that show. Women's division is difficult because the current champ in the women's division, you know, I don't know that is the person that you necessarily want to showcase. I mean, Tatum is good, and she might be someone that you want to put in that position. You've got to have a woman on that card, and the women's champion would make sense. But I don't know. Would you want to showcase Tatum? Or would you want to showcase, like, Kendall Gray? I don't know. I mean, Tatum is a good talent, but I don't know. I mean, the thing with Tatum right now is she's in the culling. I think they're holding her back. I think Tatum would be better to showcase if she was on her own, she had a dark, moody gimmick, and she came out on her own. And, you know, I think a showcase then, no doubt in my mind. But being just like normal in the culling. I mean, you know, she's got her little quirks, but the culling kind of keep her sane, you know? They kind of keep her a bit bland, really. She's fine with them, and we're all waiting for Izzy to turn on Tatum and for her to be a big split. And when we get that split, that's when we're going to get the real Tatum, yeah? That's the Tatum I'm most excited for. That's the Tatum I would showcase. Would I showcase this one? I don't know. But you probably should, because she is the champ. And you could say, you know, Ricky Saints would be a good one to showcase, because he's the champ. So, you know, Ricky against Cody would be really fun, wouldn't it? 'Cause they're great friends. So I don't know that you could do that, though. Cody might be too big of a name to actually do that, but he'd do it. He'd have a match with Ricky, definitely. NXT champ against WWE champ. If you went down that road and you did Ricky versus Cody, and let's say you do Tatum because she's the women's champ, who could she go against? Tatum against, who's the women's champs at the moment? Jade. No. Stephanie? That's not bad. Tatum, Stephanie could be okay. But again, is it right? Because I just don't know that this is the right version of Tatum to showcase. It's so much better if she was on her own, like dark, mysterious, you know, really leaning into that. Because she is quirky. She is different. Yeah? But at the moment, she's being kept a bit normal. But anyway, Ricky, Cody, but I don't think they would do it. Who's the mid-card champ? Ethan. I don't mind Ethan being showcased. That's not bad. He could get in there with who's mid-card champ? Ilja. Who's mid-card champ over on the other side? It's John Cena. That doesn't work. If you was going to do like champs against champs, Ethan, Ilja, Cody, Ricky, Tatum, Stephanie is the kind of thing. But you just need to know, are those the ones you want to showcase, or do you want to showcase Javon? Who feels like, you know, you probably should showcase Javon. He doesn't have a belt, so, you know, you just put him in there with someone else that's quite fun on the main roster. Yeah, I mean, we're doing him against Gunther in the opening tournament. That match is pretty fun. I know that Gunther's not a high flyer, but they don't both need to be high flyers. But I think Javon's someone that could be on there as well. So that's kind of where my head goes with those kind of matches. You really want to, you know, an AJ Styles would be good, wouldn't it? AJ against Javon. We all wanted to see AJ against Leon. So AJ Styles against Javon would be great, actually. I'm just thinking if we've done it. I can't remember if AJ's gone down and done it. I don't think he has. I'd definitely take AJ Styles Javon. Yeah, book that. We've definitely got to book women, though. Definitely got to book the women. You can't not have women on. But maybe you go JC Jane instead. She had a great 2025. And Fatal Influence is a cool group. JC Jane. And JC Jane and Stephanie have wrestled before and had a great match. So, you know, you could run it back. Maybe JC makes more sense. Javon, AJ, JC, Stephanie. Let's say Cody, Ricky, but I don't think they do it. I'd take them three. I wouldn't be down on an Ethan match either. So, something like that. Ober, Gunther would be a lot of fun. If you wanted to do like the big boys kind of going at each other, that'd be a lot of fun. Whether Ober would make it, it's just who do you want to showcase? There's a lot of great people. You might want to showcase Blake Monroe, who I think, you know, they're really seeing as a big future prospect as well. So NXT's got some talent in it. Might be struggling a little bit on the men's sides, but, you know, it's got Jordan Grace as well. I mean, maybe you want to showcase Jordan Grace. Kalani Jordan's the current TNA Knockouts champion. Might want to showcase her. Oh, should we just bump Cena off? Maybe what we do is we do NXT against main roster, and then we just have 5 minutes at the end for Cena to just say goodbye. And maybe we do that. Maybe that's the right way forward. There's so much good NXT talent. We just give Cena 5 minutes with the microphone, and that'll do. And you know what? He'll be grateful for it as well. Yeah. Any complaining out of him, he won't even have that. Yeah. I'll take that off him as well. We'll make it like a YouTube exclusive. John Cena says goodbye to the fans after a 2-hour NXT main roster showcase. I'm really down for that. And you could do that at the end of every year or something, you know? End of the year NXT versus main roster show. Just a fun little roundup to the year. It's not serious. Doesn't matter. No one's going to care. Like, it's just a fun little, once a year we do it. Saturday night's main event. Just something like that. That'd be great. I'd love that. So, Camden, shout out to you. Really great question, my friend. Not one I'd actually given any consideration to because, well, just constantly looking at unseens or doing streams or getting ready for members streams or, you know, I'm just constantly doing stuff like that. I don't really get a chance to sit down and, like, give it thought. So, none of that has been pre-thought. I've just literally thought off the top of my head. So if you've got better or more exciting matches than ones I've just chucked out, which I have no doubt you have, put them in the chat. Yeah, get the conversation going, get the conversation burning. Very good. Really good. And appreciate the support as well, my friends. I think the 5 gifted memberships is very, very generous. Willie, hello, buds. Said, do we think SmackDown will be better tonight? Well, I was not down on last week's episodes. I said that in our breakdown afterwards. I still stand by it. I've slept many nights sleep since. My opinion has not changed. Last week, we got a Lash Legend call-up, which I was a big fan of. I like Lash Legend. I think putting her with Nia creates a really exciting new tag team. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. It actually probably is the best use of Nia. I've seen criticism of like, well, why would they just be put together? But I mean, they had a match in NXT. It was a hard-fought match. It's really not that hard to think that Nia was impressed with what she saw. And I think a comment was made by Charlotte and Alexa about how Nia's got no friends. She may have thought about that and actually thought, that's true. Hit up Lash Legend. And, you know, gone and got a friend. And there was actually a backstage interview with Nia where she sort of hinted at something like that. Where she said, you know, you told me I didn't have any friends. Well, it looks like I do. So I think you can put the pieces together and kind of work out how we got to this team. It's a team I like. I'm honestly on board with it. So definitely down for that. I think the Julia thing didn't bother me in the slightest. In fact, I had the opposite reaction. I actually liked it. So last week, there was a lot of complaining about Julia. I think that was not working. I think we were going down the wrong road. I think her being mid-card champion, she had no one to face. If you look at the roster like we did last week, there's only like 2 baby faces. The roster is not right. It's not set up correctly. That's not Julia's fault. But it is Julia's problem. The roster is not correct. We do not have the baby faces for her to face. So if her run had continued, it would have just continued to have been inactive and mid. Because the truth is, there ain't no one for her to face. So as a result of that, I think getting the belt off her and giving her some more freedom is the right way forwards. I think... had she have lost that belt at any point, people would have been mad. Because there's a weird thing with Julia where people have kind of really fallen for her and they want the best for her. And like, I don't know, if you mess around with Julia, people get really upset real quickly. So I think they see, obviously, she's very talented. She's a good-looking girl as well. Lots of potential. Decent matches in NXT. I still think there's work to be done there, but I just think we were going down the wrong road, completely going down the wrong road. So we changed it. We took the belt off her. We've given her more freedom. She put a tweet out saying, I'm going to burn this whole place down now. Like she's angry. We've got an angry Julia, which I'm very interested to see how that plays. So, you know, I look at that as being, I don't understand why it was only 90 seconds, the match. I can't answer that. I don't know if other segments overran. And so we ended up in a situation where we just didn't have time. But to be honest, Chelsea cheated. So it doesn't really matter if she cheats after 90 seconds or after 10 minutes. It wasn't a clean finish. Chelsea got her feet on the ropes and she won. So 90 seconds, 10 minutes. You could have done a match and then had Chelsea cheat at the end. You still would have had people upset because I can't believe they've ended Julia's reign. Is this really how it's going to end? I don't think the length of the match makes any difference whatsoever. I don't think it makes any difference. I really don't. I can understand people being annoyed by it and questioning it and getting frustrated by it, but I think take the belt off her, and it was because of Chelsea cheating. I don't mind Chelsea being champ because now she can face Nikki Cross, and I think Nikki Cross and Chelsea is a brilliant feud because Nikki's going to scare the living bejesus out of Chelsea, and the Julia fans really want to see Julia reacting like that, jumping around, being scared to death. I don't know that they do, because I promise you there'd be plenty of criticism. I tell you, I can already see the tweets. It would be people like, is this really how they're booking Julia? Having a jumping around, acting scared of Nikki Cross, who's like 4 foot something. Like, is this really the best way of using Julia? So we've avoided those tweets by not going down that road. And guess what? People are still upset. So honestly, I do understand that there is a bit of a situation where it's like, I'm not sure WWE can win at the moment. I don't know that they can do anything that's going to please all of the fans. So for me, I thought last week's show had talking points. I thought the opening match was pretty good. Ilja against Johnny. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was amazing. You lot said I think it was high-end good. Good 98%, kind of knocking on the door towards great. I think the main event was a bit underwhelming. That was the Cody match. So I think that was... I'm trying to remember what the match was. But that was a little bit underwhelming. But basically, it got us, advanced further forward with Survivor Series as we're heading towards that. To me, it was fine. I just think a lot of the reaction to it was people really down on the way Julia was booked. And listen, you can't help how you feel, can you? If you watched that show and you was frustrated, that's fine. That's how you felt. I watched that show and I was not frustrated. I did not come away from that show being like, can't believe this is how they're treating Julia, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, good, because that wasn't working. So, yeah, let's try something else. So I am very interested to see what they do with Julia now. Do they turn her? What do they do with her? I don't know. Is she going to, go after Chelsea? Are we just going to do that as a little feud for a little while, Is there any sign of a flipping draft? We called up Lash Legends. I mean, can we not call up someone else? I mean, I feel like calling up Lash was good, but we need baby faces on SmackDown. The baby faces. I mean, we have just took the belts off Alexa and Charlotte. So potentially we could start to use those guys now. But I think a lot of people are looking at them too, being in Survivor Series. Perhaps we've got to get that out the way first. You don't know if that's in the way now. So it's going to be... I wouldn't be surprised if we do Julia Chelsea for a few weeks, get Survivor Series out the way. Then we've got Alexa Charlotte free, where they could start getting into a bit of something with Julia and getting into something with maybe Jade, because Jade's already confronted Charlotte. Maybe we do Alexa Julia. I'm definitely down for that. Maybe we do Jade Charlotte. Definitely down for that. Then Bianca comes back in January and we do Jade Bianca. Maybe we do Charlotte Julia, and maybe we do some call-ups, or we do a draft, or we switch some things around, or we turn someone face, or we do some... We honestly, we just need to get some feuds going, and there wasn't really much evidence of any feuds kind of showing themselves while she was champ. So yeah, I don't mind it. I'm coming into SmackDown tonight quietly optimistic that it's just going to be okay. I think the mystery opponents seem quite interesting. We're progressing towards Survivor Series, so there'll be some developments there. We'll do the Last Time Is Now tournament. I'm hoping that we're going to do something decent with Julia, because I really don't need to see the crying online. I mean, honestly, the Julia fans are already doing my head in. I mean, it's just... Oof. Do you know, I mean, this is a girl that's been on the main roster like 6 months. She's already had a mid-card title run. It's like, I understand it's not perfect right now, but it doesn't mean it's not going to get there. And we've already had the conversation about what was John like when in his first 6 months? What was Batista doing in his first 6 months? What was Hogan doing? What was Stone Cold doing? What was The Rock doing in his first 6 months? I mean... It's fine. I'm telling you it's fine. I'm telling you it's going to be fine, right? It's just she's going through what people go through, which is we're trying a few things. We're putting her in different situations. Eventually, she will be that beautiful madness that everyone wants her to be, where she's maybe on her own, coming out with all the robes and going in there, putting on great matches. Like, that's what people want. They want her doing that, putting on great matches, getting momentum, basically being SmackDown's EO. That's what they want. But the EO that you're getting now was not the EO that arrived. What was EO doing for the first 6 months? She was in Damage Control, faffing around in some group, right? She wasn't putting on the bangers, singles match bangers that she's putting on now. It took her a while to build to where she is now, but look where she is now, right? And Julia, I think we can have confidence. They can see how she's a good-looking girl, and she is good in the ring. Maybe a bit work needed on the microphone, but I believe she is doing English lessons, so I think that will ever improve. And I just, honestly, there is really no drama. There's no frustration. There's no anger. I'm so chilled over Julia. She's going to be fine. She is going to be absolutely fine. She's got that it factor, that X factor. When she walks out into the arena, you want to know who she is. The look, the entrance gear, the mask, the ring gear, her natural beauty. I mean, she's fine. She's going to be fine. So, you know, whatever they're doing at the moment, whatever went down last week, it just doesn't even matter. Just honestly, I can't stress it enough. But, you know, hey-ho. That was last week. We are where we are this week. And yes, I think we're going to be absolutely fine this week. I think it'll be fine. I don't think it'll be amazing. I don't think it'll be a disaster. I think it'll be fine. And I think there'll be some talking points. Looking forward to seeing who answers those open challenges. And I just pray to God. Oh, I just pray to God. If the Lord above just answers only one of my prayers, please give Julia something good this week. I just don't need my timeline full of crying, full of tears, full of people just losing their shiz over nothing. Please. For me. Do it for me, Lord. Don't even do it for them. Do it for me. Richard said, Daze, it's Richard again. Hello, Richards. Hello again. If I'm right, with Chris Jericho, you have to do the next live stream without your hat. No. But if I'm right, I'll do 50 press-ups. Richard, thank you. That's not a deal that I'm willing to take. If we start entertaining, if this happens, you do this. Can you imagine if we open that door? Can you imagine the kind of nonsense that's going to lead to? That ain't me, right? We sit, we talk about wrestling, and I am very much interested in hearing people's thoughts about where wrestling is, where it is going, what they're looking for in 2026, and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, look, I wouldn't want to do that to you as well, Richard, because as I said, I'm pretty confident from the reports that Jericho is under an AEW deal. If it is Jericho tonight, I will be legitimately shocked, right? It'll be one of the most shocking moments of the year. And the reason why I say that is because everything I've read says he is still under deal with AEW. So for your benefit as well, Richard, I would never want to make people do exercise. I can't imagine that's any good for you. So I would never want to put you through that, bud. So I think it's in your best interest as well. Just judge him by what the dirt sheets have said. Daze, how about Sammy takes the belt from Cena, said Doug Step. Then he goes on to win the Rumble. That's a bit too much for young Sammy, and I'm a Sammy stan. I think Sammy is always the underdog from the underground, and we've already done the Sammy Cena match. That's kind of what started off the US Open Challenge, so I wouldn't go back to an opponent that we've already done. Plus also, Sammy, in my mind, is fighting and battling to win the World Heavyweight Championship. It's funny because I saw a video, and I forget who it was. I think it was Brian Alvarez, and I was really surprised he said this. Because I disagree with him on it. But I do like Brian Alvarez, actually. But he said that he didn't want Gunther to be Cena's last opponent because Gunther's already a made man, so he wouldn't benefit. And I was really surprised by that because I honestly don't think, if you was to ask wrestling fans, could Gunther or should Gunther main event night 2, I don't think you're getting like 90% of people saying yes. I don't think you're getting a load of people saying, yeah, he's ready to main event night 2 of WrestleMania. He's ready to be one of the true faces of the company, right? I actually think the opposite. I think a lot of people would say no, he's not ready. He's not that level. And I think the reason for that is because he's been very stop-start in 2025. I think that he's lost a bit of aura in 2025. I think him tapping out to Jey was a farce. But then equally, you know, he loses at Mania. He loses at SummerSlam. I mean, that's not great. If you're building up someone to be like, you know, a big star, having them lose at the 2 biggest shows of the year. Plus also, you know, he's had quite a bit of absence since. So, you know, he's either had so-so creative, losing major matches, or just not been around. I mean, it's just not been a brilliant year. Even though he started it as the World Heavyweight Champ and won that belt for a second time, I would say this was not a great year for Gunther. So I actually think there is something for him to gain by being the one that beats Cena. And we've spoke about that before. Because I think that until you can get people saying, oh, Gunther's a badass man. Gunther's a bad man. Like, he's going to mess Cody up. Like, that's where you want people to be. And I think that part of the journey towards that is having him beat John, the match being a classic, John maybe even being busted open. I mean, that match, for many reasons, needs to be memorable. It needs to be memorable because John's career deserves it. It needs to be memorable because, well, it's John's last match, right? You always want that last match to be like Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. But also, I really do think there is a lot for Gunther to gain. And I do think that a big statement win in a banging match where he looks like a badass and they're both busted, they're both giving everything. It's like war. They're both giving everything. The crowd going absolutely mental. This is awesome chants ringing out. Like, what that could do for Gunther, you can't tell me that doesn't do anything. You just can't. I think that it does. And I think he's the right person. So I think, like, for me, Sammy getting in there, beating Cena, winning the WWE Championship, like, we're kind of going against the way that, and I could be wrong, but it's the way that I see WWE being set up. I think it's sort of like Sammy's next stop is the World Heavyweight title, not the WWE one, you know? So I wouldn't have him beating Cena, getting a WWE Championship. Like, for me, he's done the Cena thing. We don't need that. He goes after the World Heavyweight Championship next, not the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship. So winning the Rumble, I'm down for. But then he should go into whoever the champ is. He should go in as the underdog. And I think you've got to work quite hard to make it seem like he ain't winning. You know, you need to try and recapture that magic of him at Elimination Chamber when he took on Roman. And it was like, Willie, won't he? We're in Canada. We've just done a massive story with him in the bloodline. But then Cody is around. And Cody's going to face the winner of this match. So does it make sense to do Roman Cody or Sammy Cody? It makes sense to do Roman Cody. So you go in, but we're in Canada. And his family's there. And we've just done this big bloodline story. So is he? And many people were like, no, clearly no, it's going to be Roman. And Roman was, you know, the person everyone was looking at. But there was a chance. And I think it was, and of course, Roman wins, right? But what an amazing moment that was. It was really special. Sammy Roman in Canada, Elimination Chamber. Really special. I think that was 2023, wasn't it? 2023? As we were building to WrestleMania 39. And we just had Sammy come out of the bloodline. We want to recapture that, really. Sammy wins the Rumble, goes after the World Heavyweight Champion, and then really build up the doubt that he's going to do it. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if you leak some fake information that somehow suggests that the current champ's going to stay champ. And so I would do that. I would use the dirt sheets to be leaking fake information. I wouldn't even be surprised if that's what WWE have been doing. I know Dave Meltzer's reputation has took a hit, but it could be two birds with one stone. We can throw people off the scent of where we're actually going, and we can ruin Dave Meltzer's reputation by leaking fake information. I am not trying to defend Dave Meltzer, but if that is what has been happening, it will not shock me. It will not shock me, because that is two birds, one stone, and it's the exact thing I would do. It's the exact thing that I would do. I want to throw you off the scent, and if I can discredit the dirt sheets after all the flipping frustration they've caused me. I mean, do you think people in WWE are thrilled when the dirt sheets are putting out spoilers? No, of course they're not. Would you be thrilled if you worked in creative and you've got a big thing planned and then it gets leaked to Fightful or WrestleVotes or Dave Meltzer? No, of course you wouldn't. You'd be livid, surely. I mean, I can't imagine they're high on their Christmas card list, right? There's just no win there for WWE. So I think that to be able to do that, I wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me if there was fake information that was leaking out. So I would probably go to that to try and really make it seem like, nah, what do you mean Sammy's winning? Haven't you heard? There's a report doing the round, Sammy ain't winning at WrestleMania. Boom. Guess what? Sammy wins. Catches people off guard. Love it. Play the game. Yeah. Look at the landscape. Look at the field. Move the pieces. Play the game. Yeah. Everyone playing checkers. We're playing chess. So, yeah, I don't see Sammy being the one that beats Cena. He doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think he goes after the WWE Championship. I would have him just go after the World Heavyweight Championship, and I'd do everything I could to make it seem like he was not winning. Dude said, I'm excited for the mystery opponent and for UFC tomorrow. Yeah, I am also looking forward to both of those. We are doing UFC tomorrow. As soon as we're done with SmackDown, I am going to do the post-show stream. It's going to start about 15 minutes after, and we'll go live. I'm not looking to jump in the chat or anything like that. Really, it's just a way of getting it out quicker for you guys. Rather than me recording it and then having to upload it separate, I just do it live and it's out there. It worked okay last time. It was about the same, honestly. So it didn't suffer, but it didn't, improve anything. But I've got to think that it's better to get it out there before people go to bed rather than when some have gone to bed. So we're going to do that. So yeah, we will do that. We'll do it live after SmackDown. We've already done Unseen. That's up and on the channel already. I do try to get that out now before Raw, before SmackDown. If I can, I'll try and get it out before NXT as well, because that way, after the shows, there's not loads of videos coming out. There's just a post-show breakdown. On a Wednesday and a Thursday, Unseen might still go out at its kind of old time. I don't know on those yet. But certainly on days like today, get Unseen done early. And then that means afterwards we can do the post-shows. Just makes more sense in my mind. But tomorrow we are back with UFC. So as soon as I've done that show, that post-show breakdown, My next thing to do is set up tomorrow's stream. I haven't done that yet. But I do have my notes. I was doing that yesterday, all my research and everything. So it's going to be good, man. UFC looks good this week. Looking forward to it. Right, let's go down. Camden said, honestly, there's part of me that wants Jey to win the farewell tournament. I just want to see the online community explode. Oh, they would as well. They would. They would explode. I mean, I must admit, I would have a little grumble at that myself. Only because I just think John deserves like a great send-off. And I don't know what's wrong with Jey, but his singles matches have just really struggled. You are right. It would be fun to see the meltdown. So in that regard, it would be fun. But yeah, equally, I would also be like, oh, I do think John deserves better here. You know, Jey is someone that I don't think is giving John that great send-off match. And he definitely deserves that, John. Just another reason why, you know, I really like it being Gunther. I think Gunther consistently has shown great matches. Granted, maybe not against Jey, but I thought his match with CM Punk was very, very good. So I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I do think it was a touch too long. I would definitely shave 5 minutes off of it. But maybe even longer. But I did enjoy that match that they had in the main event of SummerSlam. And really, he hasn't done loads this year. I mean, do you remember he had a match with Pat? That was Backlash, I think. The way that he kind of came back after the defeat at WrestleMania. You know, he's not... I don't know, he's had a weird year, Gunther, this year. He's had a bit of a weird year. Probably not his strongest from an in-ring point of view. Not his strongest in general. One of his weakest years. But he could really end it on a high, couldn't he? If he is going to be the one that puts John Cena down. So, Camden, shout out to you. Uncle Rebel said, I'm happy. Bo returns. I love a split personality. Oh, you'd like it if Bo came back? And we do like a split personality thing. Yeah, I agree. That would be fun. I'd definitely be down for a split personality situation. I would definitely be down with that. I think that we've obviously made a lot of mistakes with Wyatt 6. I think there is still a way forwards. We know the reasons why some of those mistakes have been made. We know there's been injury. We know, obviously, there's been stuff going on with Bo's dad. And so, you know, it's quite easy to see how we've ended up where we've ended up. So I'm going to say the same again. Next year, if we can just have a year that is free of those kinds of issues, then, of course, we're just going to live in hope that we can really make some progress with the Wyatt 6, who have just not really had an opportunity to, I think, show what we were hoping they were going to show because of various reasons. Right, and Luna Fan, how long we got? We got 9 minutes. Luna Fan said, what do we think about Nikki turning in Boston? Felt a bit early. I thought it was a talking point, and I enjoy talking points. I think Nikki is someone that is not aimed at me. I think Nikki is a diva from the Divas era who is wanting to show she can hang with the current wrestlers. I think she's better than she gets credit. I actually think some of her like clotheslines, forearms, I think some of her moves look good, honestly. I think if you was to kind of paint her as being, you know, one of those girls, you know, from back in the Attitude Era that was bra and panties and, you know, that was all she was bringing. I don't think that's right. I think she's actually more skilled than that. I've never had an issue with her, honestly. I've never had a problem with Nikki Bella or the Bellas. So I like her. I think her match quality is okay. It could be better. Obviously, her match with... who was her match with? Who did she fight? Was it Tiffany? And there was some botches in there. And everyone was kind of pointing at the botches, which is understandable. But the rest of the match was okay. There was just moments in there that were, it was Becky, wasn't it? The rest of the match was just a bit off. A couple of off moments in there. A kick coming off the corner and like Becky was nowhere to be seen. It's just completely missed. So, you know, there's been a bit of ring rust. There's been a bit of timing issues. I don't mind her as a talent. I'm more than happy to, you know, sit and watch a Nikki Bella match. I would like to see those matches get better. Like, you know, the selling improve and they become a bit more dramatic. And I think quality-wise, you're going to get a 3.5, 3.75. It's not like she's churning out 2-star matches. They're fine. Not mind-blowing. Probably get good 95, good 96 from the community. That's what I would expect. I don't think they'd be good 85, right? So I think a heel turn feels a bit rushed, maybe. A lot of people thinking there'd be a few more teases before we did it, but we don't know where we're trying to go, you know? I mean, we're a bit of a slave to the shows that are coming up. If they want to do Nikki Stephanie at Survivor Series, well, then you might have to do the turn now, and then you've got a couple of weeks to do promos, and then you can get to the match. So, you know, it might be something along those lines. But, yeah, I saw the criticism, people saying it was a bit quick, and that's fine. Yeah, it might be. But it's not something that I was like really bothered by or really down on. It was fine. Fine. So, Luna, shout out to you. Right, where are we? We've got 6 minutes. 6 minutes. What's the score of the Punsey football game? I have no idea what you're on about, Michael. I don't even know what you're referring to. Dean said, all my favourite stars either don't get used or they are only used to just job to ones that I can't stand, says Dean. Well, I could understand that being frustrating. I've definitely been in those situations. If you're a Sami Zayn stan, then that is something you get very used to be honest. Sami having a few opportunities and then getting buried again. So yes, I can understand that being a frustration. All Game said, what do you think if Sheamus was to win? Well, Sheamus would give Cena the banging match he deserves. So, I mean, I would certainly be okay with that aspect. Sheamus has not been around the title picture or been around the top end of the card for quite a long time. So, would Sheamus have something to benefit? Yeah, he would. He would have a push that could come from it. I mean, the idea that Sheamus is over and he's popular and there's nothing more we can get out of him beating Cena would be ludicrous. I mean, where Sheamus is in the card is he's struggling to win the Intercontinental Championship. That's where he is on the card. I don't care what he's won in the past. I don't care how long he's been around for. I mean, really, in this business, it's kind of, what are you doing for me now? You know, what are you doing for me lately? It's all about the here and the now. Oh, yeah, you can kind of coast. You know, if you're Sheamus, I can't imagine WWE are going to look to part ways with him anytime soon, unless he's getting paid a lot of money and they would rather save that money. I mean, that could happen. That kind of happened, didn't it, with Bray and with R-Truth, where they're getting paid money and they look at it and they're like, do we need to use that elsewhere? So, I mean, even Sheamus might not be, you know, completely free from budget cuts. It really is an industry that's built on what are you doing for me right now? There's always people coming through NXT that are looking to take your spot. So what I would say about Sheamus is he would give Cena the banger that he is looking for. I think that he could benefit if he was to be the one to beat Cena. Could you imagine Sheamus coming out at the Rumble, having just beaten John Cena the month before? Like, he would have some extra momentum, some extra impetus. I think, though, if you're not going to capitalize on it, then he shouldn't be the person. So if they want to use Sheamus as a pretty big deal next year, then, okay, I'm willing to listen to Sheamus being that last person to beat Cena. But if you don't have any plans to capitalize on it, then don't do it. Don't waste it, because it would be a waste. You would be throwing it away. And I really think they've got plans for Gunther. I think Gunther is someone they've clearly been investing in and someone they're going to continue to invest in. And so, again, it makes sense that it's Gunther. Sheamus, again, don't do it. Don't do it as a kind of you deserve this Sheamus moment, because there's lots of people that deserve it, you know, to be that last person. I think, what can you get out of it? So, you know, how is this going to propel someone forward? So if Sheamus is going to benefit, then okay. If not, don't do it. Hello, Black Onyx. Shout out to you, my friends. Dean said, I like LA Knight, but But again, he's being screwed with creative. The Wyatts and Ludwig as El Grande. Roman can't wrestle. Cody is annoying. People that deserve the push don't get it, says Dean. Boomer said it's time for SmackDown. Sean said, hello, Daze and everyone. Let's all forget our troubles of the day and let's fall into a wonderful world of wrestling. Sean, shout out to you. Lone Star Friend said Sheamus is a surefire Hall of Famer. Oh yeah, definitely. After all the achievements that he's achieved, definitely goes into the Hall of Fame. But what have you done for me today? Where are we right now in regards to, are you going to get another world title shot? Are you going to win a Rumble? Are you going to win Money in the Bank? You know, are you going to be in any main events? You know, you can't say, well, I was champion 10 years ago or whatever. You know, momentum, as much as it annoys us, is a real thing. Because they like to give people momentum and then, you know, get them into the mix. Not always. There's definitely people like Logan that can rock up and just, you know, his momentum comes from his flipping following online. But for someone like Sheamus, you know, he would need to get some wins going, get some momentum built up, then he might be able to get some opportunity. He seems a bit stop-start, doesn't he, Sheamus? A lot of them do. But the truth is, they don't look to push them. They're not part of, you know, who they're looking to really get behind. Right, there we go. Let's turn our attention, shall we, to SmackDown. Let's see what they've got for us this week. Let's see what one of the greatest booking minds in the world, Road Dogg, has got for us this week. Right. We've just got the intro. Dun, 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 dun. Then, now, forever, together. Okay, we're looking at the tag titles. Women's tag titles. Lash Legend arriving. So they're showing us what went down last week with Lash Legend arriving. Then the Kabuki Warriors attacked them backstage. And then on Raw, we had this as our main event. And obviously we saw Io and Rhea returning. I don't know what this is building towards, though. I mean, are we going to hear from Charlotte and Alexa? That would be pretty good, because I think we all want to know what's next after... Well, they'll probably just talk Survivor Series, won't they? But once we're past Survivor Series, I definitely want to know what's next. Some people wondering if they're going to turn on each other. Bang. There's the insane elbow. WWE should bring back the concept where people vote for matches, says James. I think that would work well, especially in a SmackDown sense. People don't really like it. I mean, like it, but that's just me. Well, I don't think you would do that for all the shows. I mean, you could do it for a Taboo Tuesday or a Cyber Sunday. Or you could do it as like a one-off special. But, I mean, you need to know kind of where you're going, don't you? You need to plan out your stories and that kind of means that you need to have certain winners and whatnot planned in advance. Big Time said, I nearly caught pneumonia. I've got chest and breathing difficulty. It's doing the rounds. My mom's in a terrible state. Horrible cough, like runny nose, just really like suffering. Same with my dad, actually. So, yeah, I don't think you're alone. Hey, we're starting with Rhea. Hope you make a speedy recovery. I had it last weekend. I only had it for like 24 hours. And to be honest, I think I got it off them. So I only had it 24 hours, but yeah, it's doing the rounds. Some nasty colds and flus. Okay, Rhea and Io are coming down, and Io is jumping around all excited. Look at my life, look at my life. The Eradicator. What's she got on her trousers? Some images on her trousers. They look like Sunny Wolf tarot cards. To say things have escalated quickly would be an understatement, says Corey. I love Rhea and Io so much, said Uncle Revel. My tiny heart explodes. Louise said, my daughter and my grandson have caught the croup. Louise, shout out to you. I'm sorry to hear that. It's doing the rounds, and it's really bad at the moment. I read on the BBC website, but we know how they like to lie, that it's about as bad as it's been in a long, long time. Apparently, the flu and everything mutated in the summer. And it's a nasty, nasty variant that's kind of going around at the moment. So stay safe, because if you do get the flu or a cold, it's moody. Extra moody. It's like Flu Plus at the moment. Flu Max. Okay, Rhea and Io are in the ring. Io is... Rhea chants. I thought they might be chanting Rio, but they're not. They're chanting Rhea. Since I've been out with a broken nose... Kabuki Warriors have been causing chaos. Kabuki Warriors think they're untouchable. Boos for Nia and Lash. They think they're untouchable because they've got the numbers advantage. The funny thing about numbers is you end up with more enemies. What the hell does that mean? What does that mean? Do mathematicians say that, do they? You know the funny thing... You know the funny thing about numbers? No, what's the funny thing about numbers? You end up with more enemies. Okay, War Games getting mentioned. Charlotte Flair and Alexa are being brought out. Okay, so basically, Rhea and Io came out and they went, do you want to know the funny thing about numbers? And then we did that. And then Io said War Games, and now we're bringing out Charlotte and Alexa. Charlotte looks great, actually. I like that outfit. That's wild, isn't it? It's like graffiti. Looks like she's been attacked in New York by some vandals. That's a real shame, actually, because her gear, she was just normal. It was just a little pink suit. She fell asleep in the back. When she woke up, some rascal had done that to it. Tagged all over it. Tony Khan was here. Here's Alexa. She's making her way down. She's got a black top. She looks nice in that black top, actually. I wonder how much that outfit cost that Charlotte's wearing. It's probably like designer, isn't it? I mean, I'd imagine it is. It's probably thousands and thousands. Alexa gets in the ring. She's trying to part the ropes, but she's not the biggest, is she? So her sitting on the ropes, you get a little indentation where she's sat, and I don't think the rest of the ropes move. Normally, you'd sit on the rope and you'd like open it to allow your partner to get in. When Alexa does it, I feel like the rope just kind of does that a little bit, and it doesn't really move. That made no difference whatsoever. No difference whatsoever. If I was Charlotte, I'd be like, don't bother. I appreciate the gesture. It's fine. Okay, we've got Charlotte and we've got Alexa in the ring. We're kind of really leaning into the differences, aren't we? I mean, look at Alexa all in black. And then you've got Charlotte in this kind of brightly coloured suit. A lot of people have used that meme. I can't remember what it's from. Is it Despicable Me or Minions or something? Where there's the one dark, moody house and then you got the bright pink house next to it. This is that energy. Look, Rhea. I don't like you. Look at Io. Io's like... I don't like you. I don't trust you. And I think you're a snake. Okay. Not a great start. There's too much history. I saw you shaking hands with her after Raw. You're my friend, Lexi. I trust you. Are we really going into a flipping can they coexist thing? Is that what we're doing? Are we really doing a can they coexist thing? Charlotte says, count me out. That's it. She's walking away. I'm walking away. Count me out. I don't like you. I don't trust you. I think you're a snake. Mate, come on, look at this. She can't believe it. She can't flipping believe it. Shock. She has a little look before she goes through the curtain. Well, I guess it's off. I guess Survivor Series War Games isn't going to happen. Corey says that was awkward. Michael Cole's like, I don't know what you do. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. There is Jade. There's B-Fab. B-Fab arriving. Oh my God, look at that person. All in there. Cody Chelsea. I think it's Chelsea, is it? More Chelsea attire. LA Knight, yeah. All right, we're kicking off with Jey. We're going to start with our opening match there. Now, opening match is going to be in the Last Time Is Now tournament. Yeets. Let's go. Let's go. I just saw the cameraman's arm. Michael Cole said we're a bit out of practice because we've been over here on Friday nights. Are they going to... I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to stick with this or are they going to cut to commercial? Boom. Okay, so Jey is making his way down. Jey against The Miz. We've got 10 minutes of yeeting on the way, said Spike. Camillo said, what's up, Daze? Glad that I can watch the streams. I don't have cable. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but you haven't missed anything. Bit of a nothing start to the show with Io, Rhea basically saying, you know, we've got some numbers as well. They bring out Alexa and Charlotte. Charlotte's like, I don't want any part of this. Done. And then we move on to match number 1 that is going to be Jey against The Miz. We knew about this anyway. It's in the Last Time Is Now tournament. One person advances. The other person is eliminated as we try to find out who is going to be John Cena's final opponent. My guess is it's going to be Bayley and Lyra to fill out that face team, with the Bayley split personality storyline playing out with her turning on the team, said Sean. I just think they'll convince Charlotte. I just think that she's being all a bit moody, and then they'll eventually be like, listen, you've changed. She's changed. Won't you just come back? And she's like, my God, you're right. I can't believe I was so short-sighted. There we go. Boom. First round match. Jey and The Miz. When the Sandman came out to the ring, he was smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. He wasn't out of breath. I'm laughing my ass off, said Eric. We've got the WrestleMania advert right now. Luke said Bianca is going to return for War Games. War Games. Daze, why not dress like Charlotte to replace her for War Game? Oh my God, I should. You're right. I should. I could easily make that outfit as well because it's just graffiti. And everyone knows I'm like one of the best graffiti artists in Market Drayton. So, easy, mate. Daze, I hope The Miz wins this, said Jordan. It's a great opportunity. All the great matches they've had together. Yeah, I mean, I would like The Miz against John. I do wonder if The Miz loses tonight, does he stand a chance of facing John on Monday? Could The Miz go over to Raw, really upset and annoyed at the fact that he's not going to get a chance to face John, and John say, well, let's do it. A little bit of drama. Refresh, my friends. Yeah, we've got a nasty storm actually in the UK right now. Apparently the next couple of days have got really bad weather, so we are using Starlink. We know that Starlink can be rubbish, but we are on Starlink. At least, oh, is it having a little wobble? It's having a little wobble. Let me... Well, hopefully it is okay. It's back. We are back. Is it a Lance storm? No, it's a nasty storm actually. It's got a name. I think it's called Claudia or something. Storm Claudia. It's got a name. That's how bad it is. You know that storms are bad when they get given names. So yeah, unfortunately, we do have a bit of a storm. In fact, I can hear it like outside blowing against the side of the house. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, we've got through 20 minutes, and we should be able to make it through the rest of the show. So Sleazeboy said, rate my unethical booking. WWE is going to tease a Tegan Nox return for a title match and main event at WrestleMania. Tegan is going to walk out on the day of, but WWE will have a replacement, and that replacement will be Travis Scott. Well, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, does it? Travis Scott in the women's division doesn't make much sense. Tegan being brought back, obviously, don't see happening. Her being in a title match, don't see happening. I understand that's the premise of the game. To then have her removed because she doesn't show, and to replace her with Travis, I just think I just think it's random. It strikes me as random more than unethical. It just strikes me as quite random. I'd give it a 4. We're going again. We're going again. Jey is going to go again, but I think he's going to get interrupted by The Miz. So we can't go again. Sleazeboy, appreciate the support, but I wouldn't say that was too unethical. The only thing is it'll probably lead to an intergender match, which we don't tend to do in WWE. Obviously, we have done them, but very, very few and far between. And actually, there's a lot of people that enjoy intergender matches. I wouldn't say it was that unethical. Thank God no more yeeting, said Jordan. Corey said, I thought we were not supposed to like The Miz, but he just did us a favor. Aaron said, thankfully, Miz interrupted that. Beep. Wow, I tell you what, people really not feeling the whole yeeting. Miz interrupting the encore, and people seemingly very grateful for that. Okay, here we go then. We are about to get underway. Miz and Jey. Okay, so just talking about the fact that Rusev has already progressed. So we was at commercial break, and there wasn't anything happening during commercial break. Michael Cole just explained the last time in our tournament is an inter-brand tournament. Raw stars compete on SmackDown and vice versa. Once WWE unveils that bracket, the internet nerds won't know what to complain about. So apparently, like, people can just appear on different brands during this tournament. Miz backing up a little bit. I never really worry about those things. They don't worry me. Miz collided into Jey. Backslide there by Jey. And Miz kicks out. Goes over the other side. Joe said, I love Lamp. You love Lamp. Joe, Lamp loves you. Yeeton has run its course, said Danny, massively. But if you look at how excited the kids are wearing those Yeet shirts, flapping their arms around, it's very obvious why WWE are prolonging it, and they will continue to do so, says Danny. Yeah, I agree. He's massively over with the kids. And there are some adults that have got on board with the whole Yeet thing as well. I've had pictures sent by people in the community. They've got their Yeet shirts and whatever. So it is more than just kids. Oh my God, commercial break again. Commercial break. And is this one a black screen thing? No, we're staying with the action. We are staying with the action. I can tell you that the flavor of the Prime Hydration Station is kiwi berry. So there we go. That's breaking news. I just read it. Okay, Miz over by the barricade. Final Boomer said LA Knight has dressed as a lady before. So War Games. Not impossible. Not impossible. Right now we got Miz on the outside getting in the ring. It's my birthday, said Henry. Well, Henry, happy birthday, buds. Hope you had a great day. Bam versus Bat Club, said Chris Jericho came back for John Cena. That would be amazing. Going to find out who that mystery person is later in the stream. Stone said the names are drawn from a hopper. If SmackDown was only on SmackDown, then it would be rigged or scripted. Jey in the corner goes over. Oh, kick coming in by The Miz. Jey goes down. Jeremiah said Randy is going to make a surprise return as an opponent. Running out of time, aren't we? We've only got 3 John Cena appearances left. Next week's Raw, Survivor Series, and December. That's it. I think he'll have a match on each of those, but only one. I don't think he's going to have multiple matches. So 3 opponents is all we've got left. Some even thought he was, and I thought he was going to go into the War Games match. Apparently not. Right now, Miz in control, going back against the ropes. Big kick into the back of the head there of Jey. Jey goes down. Miz shouts out at the crowds. I'm seeing Cena. His mind, says The Miz. Big boot coming in there by The Miz. Miz walking around the ring, slowing the pace down. Waiting for that open challenger banger, said Dr. Lucha Lala. Hasib said, would you be all right if on Raw Cena relinquished the title, saying he's happy to be a Grand Slam, but he doesn't need the belt, and we've got a tournament for it? Yes, I would be fine with it. I wouldn't have him say I don't need the belt. I would just have him focused on, look, I've only got 2 appearances left. I don't think it's right that I keep, hold the belt hostage or anything. Like, I don't know what these next 2 appearances are going to be for me. And I don't want to get in the way. I think we've got an amazing mid-card, I'll probably word it better. We've got an amazing roster. I don't want to do anything to hold that back. So we're going to announce, or it's my pleasure to announce, there's going to be a tournament or however they do it. Yeah, I'd be totally down for that. Totally down for that. I really don't think he needs this title. He hasn't got time for a run. I mean, as we said, he's got 3 matches, and I don't want a second wasted speaking about the IC belt when we're talking about John Cena's final match and what that's going to mean. So I don't want it to get in the way. Oh my God, mate, he really just spiked Jey. Did you see that DDT? Jesus, and the camera shot of that was fantastic as well. The camera shot of that was brilliant. Spikes him. Yeah, look at that. Literally, as I say it, just a few seconds later, look, that appears 8 seconds ago, spiked. It absolutely was as well. That's going in. He did. Look at him, flipping upside down. All his weight going onto his head. He's got his hand there, which is going to take some of the weight. But, yeah, he flipping did spike him. Kicks coming in there by The Miz. The it kicks. Charging in, another kick. This one misses, though. Jey picks up The Miz. Was it a net breaker? 1, 2. He kind of threw The Miz up, and rather than grabbing the neck, he just sort of helped him back down. I don't know that was much of a net breaker. Miz climbing over to the corner. There's Jey. Jey digging deep, sucking up the air. So, yeah, see, I'd be down for that. I think that would be good, to be honest. Right now, we got Jey on his feet, backing over to the corner, looking over at The Miz. He's going to look to charge over, charging in. Tries to collide in at The Miz. The Miz with a shoulder tackle. Over the other side. These two are doing a few things here. We need to end that poll because it feels like we might be getting close towards the end of this thing. Miz is looking for a 5-knuckle shuffle. He's taking his time. Here we go. You can't see me. Miz goes against the ropes. Boom! Hits it. The Miz with a 5-knuckle shuffle, and he lands it. Here we go. He's got him on the shoulders, looking for an AA. Shouldn't really, you shouldn't really run plays from other people's playbook in matches like this. Go from your own, and he does. Skull crushing. 1, 2. Ah, that was good. It felt like it was going to cost him doing John Cena's moves, and he should just focus on his own. And he did manage to hit a 5-knuckle. I would say at the perfect time. Perfect time. And Jey manages to kick out. It's good. I'm really enjoying this. I think the reason why I'm enjoying it is because I know how much this means to The Miz. The Miz has been very, very vocal about how he really wants to face John one last time. Miz is going up. He's got Jey. He's going for a skull crushing off that middle rope, middle turnbuckle. Elbows coming in. Miz trying to go up, but he's on the shoulders of Jey. That was different. Jey drops down and Miz crashes on that top rope. Spear! Spear by Jey! Guillotine. Bang! Big splash! 1, 2. Jey wins! There's nothing like a guillotine. Hits him with a spear and then delivers the splash, and Jey Uso picks up the victory. Perhaps he meant guillotine because he sort of hit him in the throat. It was quite high. Either way, Jey picks up the victory. And Miz is going to be gutted. No sign of Carmelo. I mean, Melo might come out now, but there we go. That's the end. That's the end of the road for The Miz. He is not going to be winning. He's not going to be winning the tournament. Okay, we're backstage with Ilja. Here's Tommaso. Does this guy look like a jackass Nick? Tommaso is frustrated because he wants to face Ilja, and Ilja doesn't seem interested. The right way is to not give opportunity to jackasses. I don't know why he won't face Tommaso. Ilja's going to face someone he respects. Is it Axiom? Looks like it's going to be Axiom. Mate, that'll bang. That will bang. But at some point, Tommaso is going to snap, isn't he? Oh, we've got Heyman, we've got Bronson, and we've got some paperwork. Into the office they go. Heyman, Bronson, and some paperwork. I wonder if that's a contract for War Games or something. Or I wonder if it's something a bit more exciting than that. War Games. Daze, we had the storm last night and today. It's been non-stop heavy rain, lots of strong winds and power surges. It's funny, yeah, because as we were doing that kind of couple of hours before Smackdown, I could really hear it outside. So in the back of my mind, I was like, I hope this doesn't disrupt anything. So when it did dip out there, I was not greatly surprised. But to be honest, it's been, honestly, touch words, not bad, all things considering. Unfortunately, we do use like 5G to stream. I just don't have good broadband where I live. I never have. Our broadband is atrocious. I mean, we're out in the countryside. It's atrocious. So I just can't rely on it. I can't use it. So, yeah, it's, you know, we are a little bit susceptible to that. But all things considered, I think it's been not bad, honestly. So, yeah, it is a bit moody at the moment. Nothing, you know, other places have got it much, much worse than we do. Big Mig said, I thought War Games was 5-on-5. Am I wrong? No, we'll get there. We're still working our way towards it. So, you know, we've got Charlotte and Alexa and all of that. And they'll bring probably some extra people in. There was rumours of what the teams were going to be. I think it was Becky rumoured to be on one of the teams. And AJ Lee was rumoured to be on one of the teams. So, you know, we've still got a little way to go with it all. I think at the moment we're at the pointless, can they coexist drama. Part of me is like, it's good that the history of Charlotte and Rhea is not just being ignored. But the other part of me is like, this is pointless when we know that it's absolutely going to happen. I feel like we're just killing time, really. I'm torn. Part of me is like, I like the fact we're not just not paying attention to it. But for me, I would just be like, listen, I really want to get my hands on those girls, on the Kabuki Warriors, and I know that you do too. I don't like you, but I don't have to like you. We just need to find a way of working together. That, to me, addresses their differences, but equally, we don't waste time on, you know, something that is just a waste of time. And I think Charlotte saying, I'm not doing this, when I think she is very much going to be doing this, is like, okay, fine, whatever. So, yeah, I think we will get to 5-on-5, but we're just going round the houses at the moment as we head to Survivor Series. Sleazeboy said the next War Games needs to take place in the UK. That's where Drew McIntyre and his Droogs can go full Monty. It's too much for the other team. It will cause them to surrender, just like the movie Braveheart. Well, I would love to see that. Could you imagine if we did Survivor Series War Games in Scotland and we had the whole crowd and Drew dressing up like Braveheart? It'd be very powerful. Very, very powerful. So, Sleazeboy, you might be onto something there. You might be onto something. Right, we have got this interview with John coming up, which looks to be really interesting, but I don't know where it's going to air. Look at him, man. Look at him there. I liked working flea markets. All right. It's going to drop on the YouTube channel, apparently, this sit-down interview with John. I've said I hope that Saturday night's main event is just going to have loads of messages from legends and everyone. Okay, here's Nick Aldis. Okay. What can I do for you? Okay. Your brand. I can take any talent. Yes. Okay. Okay, so we got security. Here's Cody. It's the Golden Goose. Mr. Heyman. What do you want to talk about? The business of today is right here, says Cody. Okay, we got Cody and we got Bronson. Bronson, Reed, Cody Rhodes tonight. Oh, title match. Title match. Cody Rhodes, Bronson Reed, championship on the line. Blimey now. That crowd's done well, ain't they? Well, what? Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? Book it, says Cody. Okay. Ilja working on the arm of Axiom. Ilja goes over. Again, trying to work on the arm there of Axiom. So, championship match coming up tonight. I mean, I don't see that title changing hands, of course. But, well, not down on it. I think the Big Show should be John's last opponent, said Harry. Drew coming back to join, or maybe Brock, because I see both finishing that team, said Final Boomer. Okay, right now we've got Ilja down. We got Axiom in control. 40-odd minutes into the show. Taker 1990, hello, said it seems like Charlotte turned heel and this is the breakup. Oh, no, I didn't get that vibe. I didn't sense no heel turn there from Charlotte. There's a history between her and Rhea, and she just doesn't want anything to do. She didn't lash out at Rhea. She didn't turn on Alexa. She just walked away. Which was a babyface thing to do, considering the alternatives. If she had gone up to Rhea and shook her hand and said, I can't wait to work with you, Rhea turned around and she smacked her in the back of the head. Different conversation. But at the moment, it's just Charlotte just not trusting Rhea, not wanting to get into a team with her. I think she'll be convinced to do that. Right now, we got a triangle. I wish this Ryback Cena, I wish was part of this last tour, said Black Onyx. Kick coming in there by Axiom. Chop coming in there by Ilja. Melonhead said, how cool would it be if Cena's last match, he was interrupted by heels and a number of his old opponents, people like JBL, Big Show, etc. Right now, to the outside goes Ilja. Axiom in the ring. So this is our second match of the evening. And it is for that United States Championship. Ilja on the outsides. Axiom kicks out at Ilja. Chop coming in there by Ilja. Kick coming in there by Axiom. Forearm strike coming in there by Ilja. Oh, headbutt there by Ilja as Axiom goes down. Dragunov on the outside. The Mad Dragon climbing up. Looking for, senton's down on Axiom, goes for the pin. Kick out there by Axiom. Crowd a little bit quiet for this at the moment. Match not managing to grab people yet. I think we're just going to commercial break though. As Ilja is shouting out at the fans, trying to find a way of bringing them in. And it looks like we are going to stick with the action. Yeah, we're at commercial break. 3 minutes, 12 seconds, apparently, until we're back. We got a little countdown in the corner. We're at picture-in-picture, said Rare Breeds. Thank you, buds. Perhaps that means the match won't, like, completely die then. Chop coming in there by Ilja. He's got Axiom looking to... Wow, big suplex. 1, 2. Kick out there by Axiom. He's keeping him grounded at the moment. That fan that met B-Fab earlier, the one that I think is in like Chelsea green attire, I can see him in the second row in the middle. I've only just spotted him. Kip up there by Axiom. Big chop coming in there by Ilja though. Knocks him back down. Goes for the cover. Gets a 2. And right now we got Ilja down on his hands and knees. Rare Breeds, shout out to you, buds. They are running the open challenge to the ground. It was fun for the first few matches, said Johnny, but now it's just been going on for like a few months. Dragunov right now. Melonhead, there's so many YouTubers that hate off on Dragunov. They call him Jobberov. Can't speak for other people. I love Ilja. Big boot coming in there by Ilja. I can only imagine they weren't watching NXT UK or NXT because he had absolute bangers in developmental. His matches with Gunther. Mate. If you've never seen his matches with Gunther from like NXT and NXT UK, they are like, I wouldn't even call them lost classics. But they are absolutely amongst some of the best in-ring matches that WWE has put on in this generation. I think that's what a lot of people are waiting for. Like, when is Ilja and Gunther going to cross paths again? Ilja working on the arm. Vikings Wolf said, I just realized today is 20 years since Eddie passed away. R.I.P. to Latino Heat legend, said Vikings Wolf. Vikings Wolf, shout out to you. Ilja was in control there, and Michael Cole thinks he might be getting a little bit frustrated at the moment. Dr. Luchalala said, have they been watching the recent matches? They're not just jobber matches, they're also bangers. Yeah, I mean, his the Open Challenge has not been bad for him. Whether it's outstaying its welcome now, I'm not sure. I mean, Ilja Axiom should just be a great match. Dragunov. Oh, lovely. Lovely work there by Dragunov. He does those Germans and he keeps holds. And I do like this spot that he does. His selling is so good as well. Crowd are now starting to chant one more time. And that's exactly what he does. But he's looking out at the crowds. I think he picked up on that one more time. Some people are calling for another one, and Axiom breaks out. Oh, Axiom going for one. No joy. Ilja holds onto the rope. Kip up there. Nice. Northern Lights from Axiom. Ilja goes down. Bit of a shame that, to be honest, because the crowd were chanting one more time. So I feel like you could have capitalized on that. They did do one more time, but he could have hit a third. Axiom's been kept quite grounded as well. I mean, Axiom's going to get going soon. We know how good Axiom is. Kick coming in there by Axiom as Ilja goes down. Axiom is up, perched on the top rope, looking for a big drop kick. Coming off the top. 1, 2. Shoulder up there. This is for the championship. Bang. Daze, what would your reaction be if Bronson won the WWE Championship? I would be absolutely flipping floored. I mean, that's not just any championship. I mean, that's the championship Cody worked so hard to get at WrestleMania. That's the championship that Roman kept on lockdown. For it now to go to Big Bronson Reed tonight on like a pretty random SmackDown. I don't know if it wouldn't reek of desperation, to be honest with you. Ilja is in control now, goes over against the ropes. Everything looks a little bit laboured from Ilja tonight. Everything looks a little bit more measured. Here's Ilja. He's trying to pick up Axiom. Slams him down. Axiom is down. Ilja is over in the corner. He's got him in position for the H-bomb. Got him in position for the H-bomb. I wouldn't take too long, Ilja. It seems very... Anyone else think that some of this seems really slow? Oh, that bit wasn't, though. That wasn't from Axiom. Axiom just explodes. Manages to get like a big springboard DDT. So look, he goes up. He goes off that rope. Look at that. Look at that. That was really good. But that H-bomb and the way that he kind of went into it, it was like, I know you're going to stop me. I know we're about to do that spot. It just felt too predetermined. The move that follows from Axiom, though, is flipping amazing. Really, really nice. That one move has prompted "This is awesome" chants, you know. Axiom is going up. There's chops that are coming in. Right now, Spanish fly. Yep. Spanish fly by Axiom. This is where Axiom might take the brakes off now. Charging it. Big collision there by Ilja. Ilja, H-bomb. Connects. 1, 2, 3. Gotta tell you, man, weird little match. I think that's a match you're waiting to get going. You get a couple of moments at the end. Might have just lifted it. A brilliant move. Couple of moves, actually, by Axiom. But then a H-bomb and it ends. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was a weird little thing, that. And still. So Ilja has retained. He gives an embrace to Axiom. Here's R-Truth. Big cheer for R-Truth. Oh. Okay, he wants to put his balls back in again. Handle my balls with care. My God, be gentle. Okay, here's Chelsea. Good question. Yeah. Next week. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. Next week. Oh, she's got R-Truth's balls. Yeah. Oh, she loves it. Chelsea had R-Truth's balls. Love that for her. Okay, Sami Zayn is making his way out next week. Well, not next week. Next week we should have Chelsea's championship celebration. Okay, get your thoughts in on that last match. Do we think Tiffany will be part of Survivor Series? I don't think she's rumored to be. I think it's pretty much the teams, but with Becky and AJ added. So I think she's got a few knocks and bangs and things she's just picked up throughout the year. So the last thing I heard was that she was just going to take a little bit of time off. Nothing massive, nothing major. Just to recover and get a few knocks and bangs sorted. So I don't know. She might actually miss out on Survivor Series. William, hello. Daze, quick question. You know how you send me the names of people in the chat that you want to boil in your tea? Well, we might need to call it for a bit because my pigs aren't eating quick enough. William, thank you. That feels like code. It feels like we're working for the Russians, but we are not. Little Rise said, don't get me wrong, I find LA Knight a bit stale, but what does it mean if he's going to lose to Joe Hendry? I get Trick, but losing to Joe, who got finished in under 5 minutes at WrestleMania, like that doesn't look good for LA Knight, says Little Rye. James said, not the first time Chelsea had some balls in her hands. Oh, James, how do you know? Do you want to share anything with us, James? Hey, was it a European tour? You went round to her hotel room to see if you could meet any of the wrestlers. She invited you up. She was missing Matt Cardona. She wanted Matt Chadwick instead. Well, at least that's what she called him. As a replacement. That's the only thing I can think as to how James would know that this is not the first time. Whose balls are these? I've heard as well, actually, and, you know, I don't want to lower the tone, but I have heard that James Chadwick's balls are about that big as well. So it's not only that she's used to having balls in her hands, she's used to having balls of that size in her hands as well. That's what the streets are saying. That's what the streets are saying. Big Mig said, first, Chelsea has never been creamed. And now we're getting balls jokes. I know, we're moving away from PG. We're moving a lot closer to where the comedy is on our streams, to be honest. That's the kind of stuff we tend to joke about. I think what's happened is WWE has watched these streams and gone, that's where we need to be. That's exactly where we need to be. Chelsea getting creamed and holding R-Truth's balls. That's the good stuff. I don't mind it, honestly. I think it's about as good as anything they've been doing recently. And to be honest, the R-Truth stuff can get a bit samey when he just keeps getting confused. Do you know what I mean? Keep getting like mixed up. Like, it is a joke that has wore a bit thin for me. That so him joking about his balls, it's all right. Honestly, I don't mind it. I'm sure that this is another joke that will get run into the ground, though. Your tribal chief said, you just know that Road Dogg's writing the ball jokes. That's his major contribution to the shows, yes. Oh, apparently Tommaso attacked Axiom after the match. So, yeah, he attacked Axiom. Nathan Frazier making his way down, trying to chase Tommaso away. What is wrong with Tommaso Ciampa? Melonhead said, who do we think's going to fight LA Knight? I'm thinking Joe Hendry. But I don't think that means LA Knight's losing. I mean, Joe Hendry being on the show is a great way just to promote NXT and talk about the relationship with TNA and all that kind of stuff. I don't know that it means that he loses. But to be honest, LA Knight's not expected to win this tournament anyway, so at some point he's going to lose. Here's Sami. Sami Zayn. It's my guy. It's my dude. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Sami has been suffering some injury issues, which I haven't heard that they're legit injury issues. But Sami making his way down to the ring. I think Sami is milking this injury. Okay, so last week we saw Motor City and we saw Shinsuke. They went after the MFTs. We did get to see Tala Tonga last week. Only, I think, his second televised singles match. I think they've probably got really high hopes for him for being someone that can get in there of his size and actually do like a decent wrestling match. He's big, man. Okay, Sami looking out at the crowd. Bubba Joe said, who is going to face Solo? When, buds? Here is Sami in the ring. I don't think we've got a Solo mystery match tonight, have we? Since I've been to SmackDown, there's been some high highs and there's been some low lows. I said I would beat Solo for the championship. I got to wrestle John Cena, says Sami. Okay, Sami's all fired up, as you would expect. The last 4 weeks have been challenging. Okay, so he's talking about Solo and the MFTs, and now he's having to watch them from a distance. I had to just watch as they attack friends of mine. Sami's fired up, man. I'm here to tell you, me sitting back, it ends tonight. Solo. Come out here. Face to face. So he calls out Solo. Here comes Solo. Breaking it off. Breaking it off. Of course, he's not coming alone. Out comes all of the MFTs. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. You really think you know who you are, but you don't. They've got a lot of history, these two, haven't they? You're a liar. You're a liar. Desperate. We've seen the Wyatts in the background previously saying, not yet, not yet. You don't care about the guys in the back. You don't even care about these people. Booze. Where's this going? TJF's fallen asleep. Robbie said the aura of the infamous Tonga Loa is legendary. You know nothing about loyalty. You better watch who you're talking to. You're still wounded, says Solo. MFT's making their way to the ring. Here's Solo. Did he just trip on the ropes? Did he just trip on the ropes? As he was trying to get in there? Oh my God. I think he did. Oh, Jesus. It's really hard to build up your aura if you're going to trip on the ropes. Oh my God. I'm coming for you. I mean, I'm not even sure that line is a great line to follow it up with. You're not going to have to wait very long. Oh, my God. He tripped on the ropes. If you want to do something about it, do something about it right now. I didn't come alone. Sammy said he didn't come alone. Here is Motor City and Shinsuke and is that Rey Fenix? He didn't come alone. These two throwing in shots. They're going at it in the ring. Nothing is going to be able to beat him tripping over the flipping ropes. Shot coming in. Sammy goes down. Right now, the MFTs are all over Sammy. Shinsuke coming over. We got Motor City coming over. MFTs go to the outsides. Darcy said, can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. It's a dub for Rey Fenix, said Ace. Phoenix is going up. And wow, what a spot. Unbelievable. Corkscrewing, twisting to the outsides. That was great. Dun, 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 dun. War game! It won't be. Solo almost slipped getting in there. No, he didn't. He slipped. Let's have a little look, shall we? Let's do a replay. Yeah, there he is. Edge of the ring. Hang on, we've got Jey with Cody. Let's check this out first. Here's Jimmy. I got your back too tonight, says Jimmy. War Games. Jimmy's in the team. Jimmy's in the War Games team. Dave Meltzer's right. Guys, Dave Meltzer's right. It's not going the way we thought. Jimmy is in the team. What's more shocking, Jimmy being in the team or Dave Meltzer at Wrestling Spirit Animal being correct? Wow. Okay, like, let's have a look at this, shall we? Here he is. Yeah. Way. One more time. Let's go. Do it again. Oh, hey. This is awesome. This is awesome. Oh, hey. Endlessly entertaining. Endlessly entertaining. That was better than the segment. Jesus. Loved it, mate. Loved it. So good. I mean, the thing with Solo is, like, everything needs to go perfect because, obviously, things have not been perfect. So, like, everything needs to go perfect. So, you know, if you're going to have a moment where you get in the ring and then do that, I mean, I can only imagine backstage he was like, all that work, everything I said, and all anyone is going to remember is me tripping on the rope. Right, we're at commercial break. We are at commercial break, my friends. James said, Knight versus whoever is next. Probably Joe Hendry. Yeah, that is next. You are right. That is next. We're going to get the answer to what is next. To who that mystery person is. This might sound wild, but if Gunther is Cena's last opponent, I think Cena should win. But if it's anyone else, then he should lose. And I say that because Gunther's not a newcomer. It should be a new talent, said DJ Farrell. DJ Farrell, shout out to you. Donna said, these commercial breaks are so annoying. Steve said, what if the mystery person is Gods? He might want another chance since Vince beat him before. Well, you know, he might have been in training all this time. He might be ready now. So we can't rule it out. I think it's probably more likely to be Joe Hendry, but could be Gods. Metal Mama, hello. Shout out to you. That's Phoenix spinning onto the ground. What, did he spin to the ground? I've got the clip. I thought it was an amazing spot. This thing. Did he miss everyone? Let's have a look. He kind of does, I suppose, doesn't he? I think, does he just get enough of whoever this is? Maybe Tala, is it? I can't tell if it's Tala or Tonga. I think it's Tonga, maybe? Yeah, it's Tonga. JC, Tonga, Tama. That's amazing, though, isn't it? I've got to say, the spin is really impressive. I mean, if Solo had done a load of spins and then tripped on the ropes, I might have got a bit more distracted. At least this had some spins to it. Just like all the other good things that spin. Like politicians and washing machines. Right, we have got Natalia on the Cody podcast. I don't know if you saw the Paul Heyman one. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was so interesting. I love him talking about getting in to meet Vince McMahon's dad and going to the steakhouse that they all used to hang out at. And there was some really good stories. Okay, here's Nick Aldis with Solo. Okay. There's going to be an elimination. Oh, hello. Oh, there's Howdy's back. Howdy's back. We got Howdy in the background. So we just had the little Wyatt 6 thing come up, and Howdy was there. He's back. He's back. Okay, here's LA Knight. Yeah. Okay, so they're going to have an elimination match before Survivor Series. We're going to have to wait 2 weeks, said Zoom Station. Okay, who is it? I am honestly expecting. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Edge. No, I think it's Joe Hendry. What if it's Carmelo? What if it's Akira Tozawa? Here we go. LA Knight in the ring. Who is the mystery opponent? Oh, wow. Oh, okay. No, I wasn't expecting that. It's Zack Ryder. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Not only am I shocked it's him, but I'm shocked he's coming out with Zack Ryder graphic. This is like a rib on him. He spent all this time being Matt Cardona, and now they've brought him back as Zack Ryder. He was like, I'm not going to do the Zack Ryder thing again. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I really feel like he should be out there as Matt Cardona, but then will the WWE fans know him as Matt Cardona? Some would. Wow. I honestly was mentally ready for that to be Joe Hendry. I am really shocked. LA Knight is in there with Zack Ryder. I wonder if this is going to be the goodbye for Zack Ryder. What if Zack Ryder loses this? But then when we see him in the future, it'll be Matt Cardona. I don't know, man. This is so hard to process. I wasn't ready for this. Crowder with him, though. And for those that don't know, this is Chelsea Green's husband. So she's definitely going to have things to say about this. So, yeah, quite a moment. It's been many, many years since we've seen Zack Ryder on WWE. Matt Cardona, though. I mean, we saw him recently in NXT. God, this is mental. That is mental. I was honestly not expecting this. I don't even think I put it as an option in the poll. I think I put Edge, Joe Hendry, and Trick Williams. Woo, 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 said David. LA Knight's going over, says, huh? Well, do you know, that's good. Do you know, I've got to give him credit. It is one of those names from the past. And it is a name that we discussed. I don't know why I didn't consider it. I'd heard that Jeff Hardy and Nick Nemeth were both busy. I don't know why I had mentally dismissed Matt Cardona. He was definitely a name we spoke about last week, but I don't know, perhaps I just mentally had moved on from him. I don't know. I'm shocked that I can't get over the fact that it's Zack Ryder. I can't get over the fact he's come out as Zack Ryder. He said he wouldn't do that. He said that character was dead. That is done. They've turned around and gone, will you be Zack Ryder again? He's gone, yeah, sure, definitely. If it gets me on SmackDown, I'll flip him be Little Red Riding Hood if you want. But he has said that that's it. I'm not doing Zack Ryder anymore. That person's dead. And then they've turned around and go, but you will do it for this one. You're just like, oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I agree. I think this is LA Knight that's going to progress. I feel like that is a bona fide WTF type moment, honestly. I'm really surprised by that. Am I the only one that's surprised? Let's have a look and see. Am I on my own? Perhaps there's other people out there like, nah, I knew it would be him. Are you surprised? Or is it just me? Am I just being like a boomer? Right now, we got LA Knight getting back in the ring. I think we're at commercial break right now. Yeah, we are. We're at commercial break. Oh, LA Knight going into those ring steps. LA Knight going into the ring steps. WrestleMania 32 won the IC Championship. I'm surprised. I figured he would be Matt Cardona, said Ace. I knew it wouldn't be Hendry because I saw a report earlier saying it wasn't him. Oh, I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen a report saying it wasn't him. Wow. Yeah, I don't know how long it's been since he was last on TV. Kick out. Okay, kick coming in there by LA Knight. I like it. I'm not a big Zack Ryder fan, actually, but I like it. He goes over and trash talks LA Knight as we're coming back from the commercial break. Right, let's go down. Does that mean it might be Joe on Monday, said Phoenix. Yeah, I still think Joe stands a great chance of being in this tournament. 5.5 years, and Michael Cole said not counting NXT. We haven't seen him. Over in the corner, big back body drop. I wonder why they made the decision to go Zack Ryder. It can only be because they still feel like that's the gimmick people will know him most by. On the outside of the ring, looking for a suplex. Feels like, I suppose, that could be back for good. I don't know, said Bubba Joe. I knew it was going to be Zack because I saw a video where Chelsea was holding the balls and she asked whose balls are these, said George. That was from earlier in this show. They were R-Truth's balls. They weren't Zack Ryder's balls. In the corner goes Zack Ryder. There's a net breaker there by LA Knight. And right now we got shoulder up. Shoulder up. This match continuing. Over in the corner goes Zack Ryder. Again, over the other side. No, lands on his feet. Forearm shot coming in there by, I want to say Matt, but I'm going to say Zack. Over the other side. Zack goes up. Bang, down goes LA Knight. Goes over to the corner, charges in. Collides in the corner. LA Knight goes down. This is like an IWC wet dream, isn't it? I'd imagine there's quite a few people in the IWC that are just sobbing right now. Charging in, big boot coming into the side of the heads. LA Knight goes down, looking for the cover, and shoulder up by LA Knight. Shoulder up. How would the IWC react if Matt Cardona beats LA Knight? I mean, they can't get too upset because they love Matt Cardona. Going up. Oh. Ryder goes into the corner. LA Knight. Inverted DDT. Is it just me or does this feel like a dream match, says James. LA Knight is back up on his feet. Jay, shout out to you, buds. Hey, night. Here we go. Going all the way up. Oh, lands on his feet, rolls forwards. Oh, Rough Rider connects. That's a sick move. 2. LA Knight gets the shoulder up. Rough Rider's great. Love that. Yeah, Jay, Glover, shout out to you, buds. Appreciate the support. Stone said, I wish we did the match before the backstage balls bit so Cardona could walk in on Chelsea with the bot. That's true. That would be good. He could still go up to her, couldn't he, later in the show and go, did you have someone's balls in your hand earlier? I agree. We can't let that opportunity pass us by. Goes over. And, oh, powerbomb down there by LA Knight. LA Knight. Oh, BFT connects. 1, 2, 3. Wah, wah, wah. End of the road, kids. LA Knight progresses. LA Knight has gone forward in the tournament. And it's not to be for Zack Ryder. But what I would say is we didn't know that Zack Ryder was even going to be in the tournament. Let's get match scores, shall we? Let's see how you thought about that. I thought that was a fun little match. It's a little moment there for Zack Ryder. I do wonder if it's a bit of a rib, though, that he couldn't have been Matt Cardona, but whatever. Yeah! Okay, LA Knight picks up the victory. We're backstage with Alexa. We're backstage with Io. We're backstage with Rhea. Oh, guys, we've got to get back to the serious stuff. We've got a real problem with Charlotte. Can we please just get back to the important stuff for a second? Let me get a hold of her. Oh, boom, we're underway. Kyrie, Nia, attack him. Shot coming in by Lash. The bougie volley. Knee to the midsection. Io into the crate backstage. Rhea gets murked as well. There's Asuka. I didn't even see Asuka. Murking everyone. There's a lot of shouting going on. There's a lot of shouting. Yeah, Lash Legend making an... I like Lash Legend. I think it's a good call-up. Okay, we've got Jade's coming out, so this will only be a very short segment. She doesn't talk very long. In fact, I love that about her. She doesn't want to take up too much of the show. Comes out. I'm the best. No one's as good as me. Done. Oh, it's a match, actually, isn't it? Oh, that won't take long either, to be honest. She'll come out. She'll mark B-Fab. Done. Okay, Jade making her way down to the ring. Daze, could the pink and black box be a reference to AJ Lee, considering she wears those colours? I didn't even see a pink and black box, but she is expected to be part of that Survivor Series team. Jade's... I don't think they're keeping her in a box backstage, though, but... Oh my god, imagine if they are. Imagine the scandal. She squashed B-Fab. She's squashing B-Fab in under 3 minutes, said Sean. Glockness said WWE could do something truly shocking and they could have B-Fab win. James said SmackDown needed an interjection of women's talent. They now need Soul, Lola, Jada. Do you know, you're right. You are so right. They do. The rosters aren't right. They absolutely do need some women's female talent coming in. There is a few women that need to come back from injury. I suppose it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because if you call a load of women up and then the women come back from injury, you might end up with too many women. So I don't know. We do need some now. Even if you just call them up temporarily or something, rent them. We'll rent them from NXT. Why don't we do anything with the Wyatts? We got Howdy. Have him talk or something. Oh, he's had issues with his father, hasn't he? So his dad's not been well at all. So I think we can understand why he's been away. But a lot of people might not know that his dad's not been well. But his dad was in a bad way. Thankfully, though, on the road to recovery. Jade Cargill then has made her way out. We've gone to the commercial break. Wrestle with Andy said, do we think the women's title is above the women's title like the men's? No, I don't think it's treated that way. To be honest, I think both the women's titles are even. I think for me, it comes down to, you know, what's going to main event WrestleMania. To me, there's no doubt it's the WWE Championship, the men's, that's going to main event night 2. That belt has got a history that goes back to the 1960s. I think if you look at the women's championships, they're just both rebranded from the SmackDown women's and the Raw women's. Neither of them has got more prestige than the other. Neither of them are headlining shows because it's normally the men that are getting that. And it's certainly normally Cody or Roman and the WWE title. So it's a little bit different for the women. We don't have there isn't one of the belts that goes all the way back to the 60s. There isn't one of the belts that's main event in PLEs. There isn't one of the belts that's associated with the top talent, whilst the other belt's associated with, you know, no offense, a step down. I mean, the World Heavyweight Championship has been on Damian Priest. It's been on Jey Uso. It's been on Gunther, who has never held the WWE Championship. I think the only person that belt has been on, other than now Punk, of like, you know, notable name is Seth. Other than that, it's been with people that have never won a WWE Championship that feel like they're on their path towards that. Whereas if you look at the women's ones, I mean, Tiffany, Jade, Stephanie, I mean, none of them have been champs before. That was Tiffany's first world title. That's Jade's first world title. That's Stephanie's first world title. There doesn't feel like there's any difference between them like the men's. For all those reasons I just mentioned, they feel the same. Or at least they do to me. I don't know if anyone's looking at the women's WWE Championship maybe being in line with the men's, and maybe that feels a bit bigger to people as a result, but it doesn't to me. I can't really point to anything that says that is bigger than that belt, you know? But I can when it comes to the men's. Jade Cargill sucks, said Downrange Publications. Thank you, bud. Well, we're going to enjoy her next. She is next. Simon said it was so nice to see Howdy back. I'm hoping that IRS is on the mend. That family has suffered so much in recent years, says Simon. I agree, but I agree. Sometimes we don't need... Oh my God, what's B-Fab wearing? She looks great. Dude. Take the coat off. I need to see the rest of it. I think I like it. Take it off. Take it off. Yeah, you know. Don't hate it. The only down with it, right, is it's still too busy. I don't know why they have to have so much stuff. Like, less is more. She doesn't really need those things around her upper thigh. I would just have the singlet bit that's all these different colours, I think that looks quite eye-catching. I mean, anything that's not black is a big thumbs up. So, I mean, this has got loads of colour to it. That's great. I don't know that she needs the things on the arms. She could probably get rid of those. She could get rid of whatever's on the upper thigh. Get rid of that. There's just... sometimes they're a bit too busy. There's too much going on, and it takes away, like, from... I liked the middle bit. I thought that looked good. And then she took it off, and it's like, you've got all these other things going on, and it's like... Don't hate it, though. It's obviously some development. And, do you know, ring gear is really important. Ring gear can, like, really aid your presentation. So, I think she's right to look at it. Powerbomb there. B-Fab goes down. Gotta tell you, though, blow me now. That ring gear is just screaming for wardrobe malfunction, isn't it? She just got powerbombed and she had to already start to do some adjusting. I feel like a lot of the time when it's women's matches, we're just waiting for the next black screen. Ugh. B-Fab gets powerbombed again. That top is living by a wing and a prayer. It's hanging on by a wing and a prayer. B-Fab's getting slammed down twice now. Powerbombed. Jade standing over her. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, mate. There's a black screen coming. She's got her up. She's going for Jaded. Oh, actually, might not need it because the match might end first. Yeah, she murked her. Well, that was a match. We won't bother asking people their thoughts on it because it was just not long enough for us to remotely score it. It was a murking. But to be honest, it probably should be a murking. It probably should be a murking. Which I think is the name of a wig that you put over your pubic hair if you haven't got any. I think that's also known as a murking. It's fun. Hopefully we're back. Guys, we just had some drama. If I get that shot, I won't miss. Hopefully we're back. We had a storm. We know we've got some technical problems tonight. There is a bit of a bad storm around, so I just kept refreshing. And we made it. We got through. We got 20 minutes left. There is 2 matches that have been announced for the Last Time Is Now tournaments. So we've got Big Bronson Reed against Carmelo. We got Finn Balor against Penta. I don't know if that is going to excite people. I don't know if that's going to tickle anyone's fancy. Okay, right now we got... Okay. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe the stream is streaming. We're at commercial break. You're not missing anything. It's wobbly, mate. It's really wobbly. We're at commercial. We are at commercial. Can I drop the settings at all? Drop in settings. Dun, dun, dun. Settings can... Struggling, innit? Struggling. Keeps coming and going. To be honest, we've only got 17 minutes to get through, so I'm just going to keep trying. It might hold. It might not hold. I hope everyone's well. Yeah, I am trying. We do have a storm in the UK, and that's what's causing the issue. But it's doing okay at the moment, right? And just so you know, we're at commercial. AEW sucks. I think Tony Khan's a bit weird. And Triple H, you need to get better at booking. Yeah, 2026 needs to be better than 2025. I'm trying to think of any other, like, really important announcements we need to make. I think that covers it, to be honest. I think that covers it. But yeah, we do have last time is now tournament first round matches. Bronson Reed against Carmelo Hayes, Penta against Finn Balor, and you can get some Zack Ryder merch. Apparently, that's what the streets are saying. Zack Ryder merch is back now. Oh, of course it's not there. Boom, boom, boom. Woo, woo, woo. Guys, you could be broski of the week. You know it. Oh, radio. Here's Aleister Black. Guys, I'm not going anywhere. They can try and get rid of me, but I ain't going anywhere. I don't know who they are. Okay, we're with Aleister and Zelina. The only person that fears anything is your fear. We said we would corrupt you, and we've done exactly that. Ah. I left fear behind. Okay. He seems to be very angry. Seems to be very angry. Okay, here's Cody Rhodes. Daze versus Storm Claudia. To be honest, it's winning, isn't it? It's murking me. We've been absolutely battered tonight. I just appreciate all the people that have stuck with us. This is not entertaining at the best of times. So to stick with us when we're going through that kind of lag. I mean, at some point, it becomes self-harm. God bless you all. Cody Rhodes against Big Bronson Reed. Whoa! Jennifer's calling shenanigans. Benny said, how disappointed would you be if Jey won the tournament and we get a gassed out Jey versus Cena? Would that be worse than Hendry? I don't know. That's a good question, actually. Would it be worse than Hendry? I mean, the only thing I would think is that they really want Jey to work out and that they're really hoping this is going to be that kind of, you know, push that he needs. But it is true. I mean, he does just look like he's gassing out all the time. And, I mean, it's one of those where he's got all the hype, he's got the entrance, and then the bell rings. I thought his match with Miz was okay earlier. I didn't hate on it. I thought it had some nice moments. You lot said it was good 89, though, so I don't think you lot felt the same. I don't think you enjoyed it as much. So, yeah, let's put it this way, not what I'm looking for. But there would be some kids out there that would love it, eh? And at the end of the day, is not, you know, making the kids happy, yeah? Is that not what we should be doing, if you think about it? They're the future of the world, yeah? We probably should be making them as happy as we could. So I'd just be pleased for them. If Bronson wins, this is going to be one of the biggest shocks in SmackDown history. Mate, if this stream crashes again, and there is a good chance of that, and Bronson wins, and I'm not live during it, I'm going to burn this house to the ground. I will be beyond livid. Beyond livid. Here's Big Bronson Reeds. Okay, how long have we got? 11 minutes. That's loads of time. This has got classic written all over it. We haven't done the entrances yet. We're sure to have commercial interruptions. We've got 11 minutes for a WWE Championship match. William said, if I make it to the UK, what about me, you, James, Dave, hit up the town? Could you imagine that crew? Could you imagine you, me, James, and Dave painting the town red? Oh my God. We'd have so many screaming women, and not for any good reasons. It'd be for all the bad reasons. Apparently, the gate this weekend is for UFC is 13 million. That makes it the 9th biggest UFC gate of all time. 13 million. Big show. Big show. Right. We are underway with Cody Rhodes and Big Bronson Reed. Big Time said the state of the SmackDown main event scene. How are they going to pull off a 3-hour show? Because Cody is doing some heavy lifting last several weeks with main event segments that aren't particularly exciting. Well, that's their challenge, isn't it? I don't know if you call some people up. I don't know if you don't do some interesting stories. And Broski has got a merch deal, said Sam, so figures have got to be coming. Could Matt Cardona make history as the first person to get a big rubber guy and a modern LJN? Yeah, why has he got merch? I mean, it does sort of suggest he's back, doesn't it? I mean, I just sort of presumed it was a one-off, but he must have signed some sort of deal for them to sell his merch. I'm going to be very interested to know what this deal is. Cody Rhodes gets the ropes back elbow there by Big Bronson. Final Boomer said, am I the only one that remembers Matt telling Ava at NXT he loves the way things work around here because he didn't have a permanent contract anywhere? Maybe he's left Matt and he is now back as Zach, said Final Boomer. Big Time Back said, Daze, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers have some collaboration with AEW and their figure company. Cobra said, Daze, what Heyman said about Golden Goose. Wasn't Austin Theory given a golden goose egg from Mr. McMahon? Yeah, it was something to do with a film, wasn't it? Something to connection with a rock movie. Will said, at least he can say Matt didn't lose. It was Zach. He can, you're right, but yeah. Big splash there by Big Bronson Reed as Cody goes down. Is Matt contracted to TNA or is he freelance, said Spawny Boy. I think he's still freelance. Cody over against the rope. Shot coming in there by Big Bronson Reed. Be very interesting to see what Sean Ross at Meltzer WrestleVotes can find out. How long he's going to be back around for. Down goes Cody. Big Bronson Reed in control. I mean, this doesn't feel like there's much peril to this match. I feel quite comfortable that it's going to be a win for Cody, of course. But, you know, I feel comfortable. Bron's going to make his presence felt, and we're going to get lots of shenanigans to end this show. We're at commercial break. When we come back, we got 6 minutes to go. WrestleRant said Bronson ain't winning this match. Shocked would be an understatement. Flawed, yeah. Duck underneath there by Cody. Disaster kick off the ropes. Big Bronson Reed goes down. Big Bronson Reed goes down. Cody is throwing in a jab. Again, shots coming in. Looking for the elbow. Boom! Planted to Cody Rhodes gets his shoulder up. Going to the outside. Climbing up. Bang! Big splash there by Big Bronson Reeds. Again, over off the top rope. Cody Cutter connects. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out. Not more shenanigans, said Superman Bass Fisher. More shenanigans. Right now, we've got Big Bronson Reed on the outside. We got Cody over against the ropes. Goes through the ropes. He goes to the outside. Big Bronson Reed turns around, looks over in Cody's direction, charges over. Into the timekeeper's area goes the big man. Cody, what's he going to look to do? Gets in the ring, breaks up the count. Goes to the outside, strips the commentary table. Yeah, the announce table is being stripped. Oh, there he is. There's Braun. Here's Logan. Oh, mate. Unbelievable. Yeah, that match has been thrown out. I feel like that's void as well, isn't it? I think it's a win for Cody. Well, Jay's going to come down. Jimmy's going to come down. And here they come. They're coming down. Here's the Usos. CM Punk is part of this team. He might not be bothered, though, to be honest. Super kick coming in. And again, super kick. Against the ropes. Boom. Usos looking to go under the ring, grabbing a table. Going up, going to the outsides. Climbing up. Jimmy and Jay. Drew McIntyre's here. Headbutt by Drew. Drew McIntyre, suspended last week, is back. Guys, he's back. Yeah, here's Nick Aldis. Heyman says I could have anyone I want. Anybody. He just keeps saying anybody, anybody, I can have anybody. Loud CM Punk chants. That's done really well, actually. I like the suspension and then Heyman. Great work there by Braun. That was really good. That spear by Braun looked great. Right hand by Logan Paul. Shot coming in there by Cody. Logan goes down. Kick to the midsection. Claymore by Drew. I told you that suspension would hold come Monday. Drew was never going to be left off the card, said WrestleRants. Drew siding with Logan is sickening, said K-Dub. Well, the heels standing tall to close out the show. Drew, Braun, Bronson, Logan. The missing piece of the puzzle is expected to be Brock. CM Punk chants are breaking out, but I don't think we're going to get him. OTC chants are breaking out, but I don't think you're going to get him. There we go. Drew stands tall in the ring. Heyman watches on. Boom. OTC Chant said, Dirt Brony. Daze, he could have had anyone. Why didn't he get Trog from ARW Pro? That's such a good question. Why didn't he get Trog? The Trogster. We're all Trog heads. It's starting to feel like Bronson's now the leader instead of Braun, says Wrestle with Andy. Surely Brock and Roman is going to be Monday. Suspension. This is War Games, said Josh. Opala said, do we think LA Knight's punishment from WWE is over? Do you think he only won due to Zack Ryder being under a TNA contract? Well, I think that Zack Ryder was a mystery person that they were able to bring in. I think we've still got one more. There's still another mystery person, so it could be Dolph. It could be Joe Hendry. It could be Ober, of course, but I think Dolph or Joe Hendry. So I think that's Monday, isn't it? And so LA Knight, probably because he's been used consistently throughout the year on the main roster, probably. And I don't know what we're doing with Zack. I don't know that he's back. But yeah, I think there would have been uproar if Zack had returned and LA Knight would have lost that one. So I don't think this means that they're about to pull the trigger on him winning the tournament or becoming World Heavyweight Champion, LA Knight. But yeah, I think out of those two, him getting the victory was made sense. But Jordan said, Daze, Drew and Logan have a history together when they face Randy versus Jelly Roll. Now Drew and Logan are teaming up for the Vision at War Games, says Jordan. Jordan, thank you. Dr. Luchalala said, I'm going to head out. I'm a bit tired, but thanks for the stream, even with the storm. I know. And it arrived when Jade Cargill arrived. Coincidence? I don't think so. I think she very much brought it with her. Simon said, we all made it through the storm. Well done. And RIP to all those recycling bins in the UK. Yeah, very much gone, but not forgotten. But it is true. It's going to be very hard for those recycling bins. I'd imagine there's a few flipping trees down as well. I mean, if I'm sat here and I can hear the wind outside, it must be something pretty significant. So, what do you think of the show, says Keelan? Well, actually, I'm going to try and do a quick stream now. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, considering all the drama we've been having with... If I can just get through 20 minutes, that'd be great. So I might try and give that a go now. I thought the show was okay. I actually, maybe even controversially, did not enjoy it as much as last week. I don't think we've got as many talking points here this week. I think we've got one big one, which is Zack Ryder. Maybe Uncle Howdy being around as well. Nice to see him back. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, outside of that, there isn't anything here that really is that amazing. So, I don't know. For me, this is probably in the 6s. I thought it was fine. It was watchable. I did not feel bored. I feel like stories are progressing. It's not a very exciting time of the year because we know we're heading to War Games, so we know that there's not going to be anything too shocking. We're just building teams. We're pretty much there or thereabouts. Every week we're going to add a new member. Tonight we added Drew, and next week I think we get Brock and probably Roman. What that means for John at Survivor Series, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. What that means for Austin Theory, I don't know. I wonder if we do John Austin Theory. I mean, they faced before, but I wouldn't do that at Survivor Series. That doesn't scream Survivor Series to me. But I would definitely love to see them two interact because of the burial that was that promo between them all those years ago. Not that long ago, a few years ago. But people still talk about it. It was that brutal. I don't think Theory ever recovered from that. Even Grayson Waller winds up Theory about it. So, yes, a few thoughts, but we can chuck all that into the post show. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up the feedback request now. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and do it live. I don't feel great about it, but we'll give it a go. And then I'll do the opinions video after. So feedback request. I'll put it up now. What did you think of Smackdown? There we go. You can leave your feedback on that. It's up on the Wrestling Daze X account right now. Right now. What do we think about the Wyatts doing the main event taping? It's quite a downfall. It doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. It doesn't mean that that's it. They're done. They're buried. I mean, they're still the tag champs. So it just means that on this show, they didn't have anything for them. And what we did have was them backstage. Well, a howdy backstage. I think the truth is their next feud is MFTs, but MFTs are just not free at the moment. So as a result of that, it is just not. We just don't have like the feud ready. So I don't really see it as anything more than that. I mean, we know the Wyatt Six have struggled. That's not a big shock. We know some reasons as to why they've struggled. But I don't think they're buried now because they're on main event. There's lots of talent that go on main event. It normally just means they don't have anything for you on SmackDown. They have a lot of the roster go on to main event. It just fills out matches for Hulu. No one is there regular. It's just a roster rotation, says Big Time. Would you be all right if we did Roman Cena at MSG and Cena Miz at Survivor Series? I might switch those. Roman Cena is huge. That feels bigger than just a Raw. But it is Cena's last Raw, and it is MSG. So I suppose you could do it. Commercials, though. Be better at Survivor Series. But then if you've got to get Roman into War Games... But then Miz as the Survivor Series opponent. I would like Miz. I think I would like Miz Cena at Raw, and I'll take Cena Roman at Survivor Series. But then people would be like, oh, but we want Roman to be in War Games, which I could understand. So, yeah, perhaps you do have to go that way if you do want those matches. I'm going to go 675, said Iron Sentinel. It was decent. We're going to get Y2J, said Jess. I don't think it's free till the end of the year. I would say this show is like 10 out of 10, said James. Would have said a 7, but Solo slipping on the rope. Yes. Oh my God. I do have that video clip, so we need to get to that. Right, I'm going to run away because I think I've got this next stream set up for like 5 minutes time. So I think we are going to have to run away and go to that. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Don't forget, you can still share your thoughts. Go to the X account. Leave your thoughts on your post. That video will go up tonight. I'm about to do this quick 20-minute stream and then work on that opinions video. So you can leave your thoughts and that video goes up tonight. Right, awesome. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it as always. And I'll see you in a moment as I try to do this live stream, which I have got no doubt is going to crash. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.